Hello. Hello.
Hi. Can you hear me okay from there? Okay.
I don't know if you saw that.
I did.
Oh, okay. The heater igniter is out in the basement, so all of our rooms are being heated with like electric heaters, which isn't, I don't know, it's not that bad, but
Not ideal, nonetheless.
it could be worse. Ooh, I almost fell. We don't speak of that.
Me after yesterday. Could be worse.
It could be worse. I mean, at least like everybody's alive and like I assume everybody walked away from it, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, any crash that like or incident that everybody walks away from is like, honestly, it could be way worse.
Yeah.
What is that? Oh, I was wondering what some of these notifications are. They're nothing important. Is what it is.
Also, quick random word to the wise. Wear your seatbelts when you're in vehicles. The trauma team doctor came in this morning and he was like, well, the good news is your seatbelt worked. And the bad news is that your seatbelt worked. So, like, I'm alive, but I'm in a lot of pain, but I'm alive. So, yeah, I thought I'd just throw that out there real quick.
Like, we actually know ways that we can make things more safe, but no car company does it because people would just not use these seatbelts. Like, if you had if you went double, like, across both shoulders.
Yeah, like a roller coaster or race car or some shit.
Yeah, and also if you have some sort of, like, head restraint to make sure your head doesn't, like, lurch forward.
You mean getting slammed in the face with your airbag and then having your head hit the headrest and then go forwards again? Just doing that a couple times?
Yeah, a lot of like race cars, the helmets are like bolted into like the back of the seat essentially, almost. Like they can move around a bit, but they like you can't like tilt your head down too far. And it prevents and they also have like side padding on the head so it doesn't like rattle you around.
Which is essentially what happened to me.
Yeah. Was it just a crash and not like a rollover?
So for me, it was just a crash, but the person I hit rolled. So
Oh, okay. Well,
yeah, and they seem to be like way more okay than I was somehow. I don't know, man. That car was sideways, and this literally, and I felt bad because she probably was like around 60, like she had gray hair, but she was like really fit. Like this woman literally climbed out of her car door when it was in the air once they finally got it open. It wasn't like too difficult to get open. She just needed a little bit of help from somebody else on the outside because obviously like I was in a lot of pain. So I was like, I can't reach, I can't use muscle like that right now, you know? So, but somebody else was right there and helped her out. And she just climbed right on out of that car, man.
Yeah,
she looked like there wasn't a scratch on her, but I also don't look that bad versus how I feel, you know?
Yeah, like the seeming paradox is that whenever you roll, it actually like slows down. Like a lot of the injuries are from like suddenly stopping. Like speed doesn't kill. Like speed isn't what kills people. It's suddenly stopping. That's what gets you. So like if you roll over a few times, that's like actually slowing down the car over a longer amount of time. And as long as you're not too jarred up because of the rolling action, it actually generally is like safer in some regards because of it taking longer.
Well, if anyone was going to roll then, I'm glad it was the other person and not me.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm just glad to hear that you're okay, because thankfully you said that I'm okay for starters, and then you said I'm in the hospital.
Yeah, I'm gonna mute Chucky because You can come up and talk to us about it though if you want.
Oh yeah.
In the last 10 years, a total of it's either 5 or 6 out of the honestly thousands of mass shootings that have taken place over the last 10 years. It's either 5 or 6 have been done by a trans person. So you really have no room to talk when I'm sure, I know large majority, I just don't know what percent. I know large majority are white men. So if you white men would stop massacring people with pew pews, then maybe we would accept you, you know? Hi, Nova.
Nova. Our favorite. Do you have a request, by the way? Hi, Ominous.
Hello.
Can I get your age and pronouns real quick?
Oh yeah, I'm 21 and I'm he, him.
Do you disagree with prompt?
I support transgender people and gender affirming care. What would it take for you to agree? Oh yeah, I disagree with that.
Yeah, so what would it take for you to agree? Like, hypothetically. What would you take as, like... What would it take to change your mind, essentially?
Change your mind? Once you can change the biological sex of people.
Okay, but...
Did you just say Bible? Okay, sorry.
No, I didn't say the Bible. No, I'm an atheist. I said the biological sex of people.
Oh, biological. Okay, I misheard. I'm glad I asked. There we go.
Yeah, so like when I look at it, I don't have an issue with people transitioning because I'm a libertarian. They should have the right to do so. So like when they're 18, yeah, they can do whatever they want. So I don't think we should take that right away. I just disagree with them. You know what I'm saying?
I think I know what you're saying, that you support it for anyone over the age of 18, but not for anybody under the age of 18.
Yeah, but they should have the right to second way. People saying like we should make it illegal, I disagree with that. They should still have that right.
Okay, I feel like this is not an awful start. Is there anything that would help you, like compel you to agree with the fact that it is healthy and needed for anyone under the age of 18 to also have access to this care?
I mean, even if it was, I feel like they should be legal adults so they can bear the consequences of their choices, saying I made this when the government or when I wasn't at an age of consent. But that's why I believe they should still be able to get therapy. They shouldn't be able to take any medical procedure or surgical. Like you can wear what you want, even if you have a haircut, because that's easily reversible. But like doing biologically altering substances, I believe you should wait until you're 18. But once you are, you can do whatever you want.
So, do you think that children should have access to other surgeries that are like important for their health? For example, if a child has cancer, do you think that they should be able to have surgery for that?
Yeah, so the difference with cancer is that it's immediately biological. It's not physiology. It's not I don't know how you say it, but like psychology and biology, that cancer is like very objective. You can tangibly measure it. You can find it. You can find the cells. Compared to people who might feel they have gender dysphoria, where it's something entirely psychological.
But that kid can't consent. You just said that kid can't consent. So why would you be okay with that, but not trans people also making the decision in the same way that a child with cancer would, with their parents and their doctors?
Can we measure people who are transgender objectively? Can we like measure and saying we can find this pattern to see this person is transgender? Is there like an objective pattern that we can follow?
There isn't like we can't like read people's minds. There's no like as far as we understand, there's no like physiological or like like inside the brain. There's no one objective thing that says, hey, all trans people have this.
Yeah, that's fine. But with cancer, there is.
Well, yeah, but like we don't have this for any other like sort of like mental illness for the most part. Like it's for any.
Well, yeah, I'm not trying to say that's gotcha. You're right. Yeah.
Like depression, we measure using like a number of different like essentially self-report data. Like you just ask them like let's see
depression too. I wouldn't support people putting on antidepressants instead of.
Oh wow, that's crazy. That I actually do have one more question to test logical consistency. Hi, Ender, and hi, Sage. My question would be, if there was somebody under the age of 18 that was male,
yep.
And they developed breast tissue, do you think that they should have surgery to to get rid of that?
Breast tissue. So like, how did breast tissue come apart from like fat or like what happened?
No, it's not fat. It's breast tissue specifically, because they either have some sort of androgen insensitivity, partial androgen insensitivity, or they have a number of other things happen to them that can cause gynecomastia in males.
Oh, it's like if they took steroids or something, now they have that.
Nope, it can happen,
I mean-
happen naturally as well.
Yeah, it
Oh,
definitely
okay.
happens naturally a lot, but
I did not know that. Okay.
steroids can cause it, to be clear, but
Like
it's
that.
not a common reason for it.
Like Israel Alexandria, yeah. I mean, does it have any adverse negative biological effects, and can it be reversed? Like, does waiting like make the consequence severe, and what happens if you have? I'm not very familiar with this. So.
Okay, so the consequences we're looking at across the board here with this scenario and with what we're bringing up is something called gender dysphoria. And
Not that. I'm saying like biological consequences. Like, do they lose energy, stuff like that? We can get into the psychology.
well, they will have those same symptoms, if I can finish speaking and explaining real quick, when they're experiencing gender dysphoria, just like a trans person would. It's this extreme distress. It's a distress-based disorder is what it's classified as. And when we're experiencing that distress, we can over or under eat, we can over or under sleep. Our anxiety levels can change, our depression levels can change. And we have like evidence to back this up. So even though it doesn't start out biologically, it definitely affects the biology of that person at the end of the day.
Is it objective?
I mean, the weight loss or the oversleeping or whatever it is, that's objective. Yeah.
Well, no. Objective means you would see it in every person, so we can see these are things. that we
No,
would see.
objective means that
It's mind independent.
yeah.
Yeah. So. Okay. So
I feel like I need to narrate. Sorry, I'm in a lot of pain too, so I'm just kind of here. Oh, hey, Ashlyn.
Yeah, I mean, I would still say no. You wouldn't wait until you're 18, and you can get. If it's reversible, then yeah. If waiting causes more issues, then that's why there's a reason to act. But if not, then there would be no other reason not to wait.
Yeah.
If it didn't get worse, you know what I'm saying?
One of these, it does cause harm, first of all, and one of the other things I'm saying is that like you keep talking about it being reversible.
Is it?
Breast implants are the opposite of top surgery, and top surgery is the opposite of breast implants.
I don't know what both of those things are though. Like I think I know, but like I don't know what they do.
Oh, okay.
Like,
So, breast implant is going to be implant put into your breast is pretty self-explanatory to like give you a chest, and then with top surgery, it's getting rid of the chest. So, like in a way, yeah, it is reversible. In a way, it sure is.
Okay, then yeah, they should wait until they're 18.
Even though it is reversible, they should still wait.
Oh yeah.
Why then?
Do you know how our medical system works in America? Like
No.
including psychiatric and psychology as far as like a risk versus benefit analysis goes?
I'm not a doctor and I
why-
haven't been to the doctor in a hot minute. My girlfriend
Okay.
made me go like a few months ago, but I haven't been back since.
Yeah, so like all forms of like medication therapy, everything has risk, right? Including you just going into your medicine cabinet and taking ibuprofen. You could wind up with like a bleed because of that. Or sometimes you get like QVZ problems, like heart problems. All of medicine has a risk. And I'm not going to get mad at someone for being weary of risk associated with certain therapies, but you're not, and as you've just admitted, aware that that system exists. So I'm going to make the assumption that you probably don't know enough about this to make that determination. That's kind of problematic. If you know the bare minimum about this subject, but now you're saying that they should wait till 18, when an entire group of experts who have spent their life studying this are saying that there's not enough risk associated with this type of care to delay it. And in fact, there's more risk in delaying the care.
Okay, so my point to that is I'm very wary of government institutions or people who are come from the government and make these claims because
They're not
we can see
associated with the government.
It's scientific
well
claims, not governmental claims, not legal claims. It's separate from
well
the
hold
government.
on.
These
A
are
lot of the time
worldwide organizations that are based in science that are making these claims and with evidence.
wait, yeah, so I would agree, but we can see science worldwide also been wrong. People used to think that black people have tougher skin than white people. That's objectively wrong, but they
So,
still wrote it in medical
so
books.
yeah, I understand you bringing up past history. Do you still would you still go to the ER?
Me?
Yeah.
It depends. If I have to, I will, but if I don't need to, I won't.
So you agree that the system is there and it saves lives.
To an extent, yeah, but also very exploitative.
You think that medicine, the people every day that spend their lives studying and practicing this, are exploiting trans individuals,
No,
and
what?
this
No,
is
no,
out
no.
of the bottom of your heart that oh my God, I want the best for these people. I have a hard time believing that.
No, I didn't say that they do. I'm talking about the people who run them, like make the bills, not the doctors. People who like write up the bills or people who buy the stuff. Like we don't need to raise the price of what's it called? People who with
Yeah, I agree with
diabetes.
that. I
That's what I'm
agree
saying.
with
Those
that.
people,
Yeah,
not the
it should
doctors.
be free for trans individuals to get their health care.
No, not them. I'm talking about the people with diabetes. What's it called? Insulin. Like we shouldn't raise insulin prices.
Yeah, that's not about like though the treatment process. It has nothing to do with what we establish as treatments.
Okay, so what I'm trying to say is they should have that right. And again, if you could show me that it's completely irreversible, there'd be no adverse effects, and that waiting until 18 would be somehow so detrimental that they can't
Nothing
wait.
is completely irreversible in medicine. Once you take aspirin, you took it, that's it.
Wait, no, because the next day though, how are you going to tell them to take aspirin or a week from now?
Are you saying they go back to baseline?
Yeah.
Okay, there's no need in fact, you don't want most treatments that are, in fact, all treatments that are effective, you don't go back to baseline because that means that they'd go back to the symptomatic state.
Well, you go to a new baseline. So yeah, you kind of do. You just make a new
Yeah,
one that you go to.
the fuck?
Oh, so you
You
know
know
what I'm
what you
saying?
just
So like,
said?
you go to a new baseline because now
You
you're
want
better.
the new baseline line. That's what you want, is you want asymptomatic.
Asymptomatic. Dude, doctors get paid so much money.
I'm not a doctor, but
You're not a doctor? What's your
no,
occupation?
I'm just
if you don't mind me
explaining.
asking?
I'm explaining things to you very simply. You don't want someone to be distressed, and this includes in a distressed psychological state. You want those symptoms to go away. You want that new baseline. You don't want them to be symptomatic and have distress, dysfunction, deviousness, or dangerousness. You don't want those things to happen.
Well, not
So
always.
you sometimes want them to happen.
Yeah, very much so. Like when you're training, if you want to get information, yeah, we want to be better. Anything that's going to come good is going to come out of discomfort. You're going to have to try hard. So yeah.
That's not true, but I
Wait,
no.
so working
This
out
is
doesn't hurt?
this is well. That's just one example. Not everything that's good comes with discomfort. Sometimes
not all, but both.
reading is really enjoyable. I learn something, and that's a good thing.
Well, that's pretty smart.
I appreciate the compliment. I'm not that intelligent. But like what we want, right, is we want, if anything is unnecessary suffering, unnecessary distress, dysfunction. I'll clarify. I'll use that statement because yeah, you're correct. And if you want that to go away, if it's unnecessary, and that's what's the goal is here. It's and maybe they get some things wrong, but the data. We have massive amounts of data to show that we're doing the right thing. This isn't on a whim. This is based off of medical science. This is based off of empirical data. It's not that they're going out there and not recognizing that the same harms that you recognize could exist, or in fact, they recognize a far hell of a lot more harms that could exist than you do. I guarantee it, because they've spent their life studying it.
Yeah.
So you being against it doesn't matter. Like, honestly, you haven't done enough research into this subject. You haven't seen the data to know that it overwhelmingly helps individuals to receive this type of care.
I was trying to say, as a kid, I don't know if they're informed enough to make that choice because a lot of people who are kids go off emotions. They don't go off logic. They go, "This is how I feel right now. Therefore, this is what I think is better for me." Versus when they get older, they might go, "Here is exactly how I feel. Here's how I know I want the future to pan out. This is why I want to do that." Like, why do you think
That's
it gets
really
tattooed?
problematic because then you would have to also make that same statement when it comes down to um, surgeries like appendicitis, getting your appendix removed, getting your tonsils removed, which actually they don't really do that anymore. But like all surgery, children have in this weary level of consent because consent for children in some things they have that information, but others are made by people with the child, your healthcare provider and their parents, to be informed and come out to the end. But children are absolutely capable of things, and being aware of who they are. We start to see children start to develop this state as early as like 2 to 4, where they can start to recognize what gender is and what other genders are, and then start to understand themselves. They're absolutely capable to an extent, to understand that. And then as they get older, they really start to define this. I understand that children their brains aren't fully developed. That happens at 25, but it doesn't mean that they can't understand who they are. That's just kind of an insult to the intelligence of children.
Well, I mean, they're not also that smart when we really think about it. Their abstract reasoning, their critical thinking skills, they're not at the most par.
They're not fully developed, but they're not stupid for it. They can recognize things.
Well, we're calling stupid by our normative baseline, based on what we understand.
Yeah, but they can have a consistent sense of self. I think that's a little brash to say that children can't have that. They can't consent fully because their risk development hasn't developed, and that's where the parents and the doctors come in. They fill for that gap.
I mean, yeah, but you don't think there's biased doctors or parents out there?
In fact, everyone's biased, but not in the sense that they're gonna just actively like, we want to promote all children to being trans. Like, that's not fucking happening. I don't.
Well, actually, it has happened. I mean, there's like that case of the guy who put HRT in his Halloween candy.
Okay, well, there's
source that.
Yeah, I can go eat that. Sure.
Well, so
thank you. Get it.
Hold on, we just know that people are stupid and do terrible things sometimes. That's not reflective of the general population. Agreed?
Yeah, I agree on that.
Okay,
and this person, if this even happened, may not have been trans. Sorry to interject.
All right, we're going.
It just seems like a pointless point to bring up. Like, we all know people are capable of doing shitty things.
Can I be honest? It sounds like you may have a bias because you might be comfortable with something, and you keep bringing up arguments that you sound like a smart dude. The arguments that you know will fail just to start to bring up points and throw rhetoric out. That's honestly what it sounds like to me.
Yeah, me too. I was just gonna say, like, we don't let people just come up to our panel and make sources or make claims that could be harmful to any group of people. We always have people source that. So even if it's a silly little thing that you know will fail, just so that you can say something, like, we still want a source if you're gonna say stupid shit.
Well, I can give it to you, but I'm just trying to say, no, because if I was against it, I would completely ban it, but I'm not, because I believe they still should have that right. Like, again, they should still be able to. If I was against it, if I was uncomfortable with it, I would say not at all. I just said not kids.
That's not true in the slightest. Yeah, like my okay, I'll give you an example. To help my parents personally say that they're not against trans individuals, but they're still like, I just don't want them competing in sports. Like, bringing up small subjects that actually, like, every time the subject gets brought up, to say that, like, you're not pro trans individuals if you like bring that up every time. Like, there are certain ways in which the biases and the clear discomfort is displayed in conversation, that I think it's easy to recognize when someone is actually an ally and isn't. And it's kind of the things that you're doing. I'm not gonna lie. It seems like maybe there's some stuff you haven't deconstructed or worked through.
Deconstructed?
And that's okay. Yeah.
What do you mean by that? Like, have a trauma or something?
No. So like there's something called like internalized misogyny in women where we'll do and say things that are actually misogynistic and you're like, well, you're a woman, you can't be misogynistic. It's not true. It's just the culture that you're raised around and you're like you see misogynistic things and you internalize them. And you take those home and then you repeat the things because that's how you've been like raised, that's how what you've been represented as, so therefore that's the right way supposedly, and it takes time to actually sit down and parse apart those ideas and realize, okay, what is and what isn't right about this, and what ideas and beliefs have I had in the past that maybe I should think about why I have them. And a lot of the times with these subjects, some of it you keep and some of it you discard. And that's what kind of deconstructing beliefs are.
So, like, which cultures are misogynistic and which ones aren't?
I don't have a list. I'm so sorry. I don't know. Like ours is
America?
a lot
America?
of. Pardon? This isn't a subject about misogyny though. So this is about trans individuals, and I've talked a lot as it is, and I'm not trying to center myself, but yeah.
Come on,
this is
Ashley.
about...
No. Plenty of leg. That's all good.
Yeah, that's not the topic. If you want to have that discussion, there are tons of lives out there to have that discussion.
Yeah. I'm just trying to say, do you believe people should be able to speak out against them, or would you like outlaw it?
I wouldn't outlaw it, no.
Okay.
Well, some things I would outlaw, like only using crash test dummies and that are representative of male figures because it's dangerous to women.
Oh, yeah, that one, that's scientific, yeah.
Yeah, like the ones that pose threat, but like some things like I can't like force companies to actually make shoes that aren't just shrink down versions of male anatomy. I can't do that. Like that would be problematic. There, like, and I can't like ban language. I'm a proponent of free speech. And of free consequences after you say the things.
I mean, I think you should have free speech unless you incite violence. I don't believe there should be a consequence unless you're doing something that is actively harmful. Like, I don't think that hate speech should be illegal.
Yeah. I think in the appropriate
You don't think that hate speech is harmful?
No, like if someone says, I don't believe that 6 million people died in the Holocaust, okay, I believe that they did. There's evidence, but that's your own choice. You can be down. Yeah, I think that you're wrong. Yeah, I think that you're wrong if you believe that they didn't, because there's evidence.
That part's correct, but that is harmful to people who aren't going to.
Well, they can just be wrong. People have been wrong about history all the time. People think that like certain events didn't happen. People deny like the Holodomor, what happened in Rwanda, what happened in India, what happened in China. They can just deny it, but it still doesn't change what happened. Yeah,
but like I think that there's like appropriate spaces for this too, where like inside of like a school, I don't think that we should allow like hate speech. Like this is a place where people are going to learn, not to spread ideas.
School's different.
Yeah. I mean, but you understand what I'm saying though. Like there are places for this, and there's clearly not places for this.
The public, yeah, but school no, because school is just children. But like anywhere else, yeah, you can say whatever you want, as long as you're not gonna like say I'm gonna hurt you. Yeah, you should be able to say whatever you want.
Yeah.
As long as you don't like incite violence or anything like that, yeah, you should be. I don't think that like fighting words too. I think that's stupid.
Yeah, I mean, there's good reasons to be like, I don't really see any like real ethical reason to put like super large restrictions on speech as long as it's not objectively inciting violence and that kind of stuff. Like very clearly causes problems when it's in the right spaces. But I think it's important to acknowledge that these things are like they can be harmful to society if we're not properly going in and saying, hey, XYZ is false and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, so you should be able to prove it then logically, which is why I don't care when people say that, because I can discredit their argument and disprove it with logic. If they're willing to have a logical conversation, then they will see that they're wrong. So that's why I don't care. You're either going to learn or you're just going to stay in your conviction. So I'm very confident in that. So people saying 1 + 1 is 3, you can easily prove that it's 2. So you're not going to care.
I can?
Yeah.
How do you prove that? Because that takes actually an axiom in science and maths. I'm sorry.
Yeah, so you have one apple and you put another together. Can you count them for me?
No, that's not a proof.
Well, that's just proving the logic. Yeah, I mean, like, you
That's
can,
not. It's
I
not
guess you get
proving
into
the
ontology. You
logic.
can say like,
It's the piano axioms, by the way. That's how you use them. It's actually an axiom of it's an axiom is self-evident. But like that's neither here nor there. Most people actually can't do a proof to display that 1 + 1 = 2 in like a, never mind. That's this is way off topic. Where did Cole go?
I think she had to do something, but I get what you're saying. I mean, for me, this is what I believe in the way. I was raised to believe they should wait until they're 18, but after that, they can do whatever they want. They can say whatever they want. I do believe there should be restricted spaces like schools or like religious places. But other than that, yeah. So like, I don't believe the topic should be held in those places or they should be forced to talk about it. But in the general public, yeah, they should have that right to do whatever they want.
This is way off topic, like so way left field.
It's okay.
So, yeah, why do you still think that trans individuals who are children should be restricted from recognized care that would benefit, that has more benefits over risk?
Depends on like the care, like getting a haircut or changing your clothes or changing how you act. That's totally fine.
I literally just defined it as there's more benefits than risk, and
Yeah,
you
I'm talking about.
still said no.
Wait, I'm talking about. What do you define that? So like, are you talking about like haircuts? Or are you talking
I
about like surgery?
legitimately just framed it to you in a way that would actually have qualmed all the things that you have said, that we are only applying care to children who are trans individuals where the risk is far lower than the benefit of care, or than the benefit.
Yeah, but how do you know I
still
actually want
said
that?
no.
Yeah, so how do you know? Because like many people who've been trans say, I actually not feel.
It's not a how would you know. I just defined it as that it is the case that is happening.
It's called,
I mean,
we have
people know that.
studies. We've done decades. Like there's literally decades of studies looking at this.
Oh, but yeah, so like, who are the studies financed
Yeah.
by? You don't believe there's like some ulterior motives?
No,
Yeah,
there's no
studies.
ulterior motives.
Wait,
Not
so
a lot of
Sage,
these
so
studies.
like, hold on. So when the Germans were funding,
No, hold on. I've actually done research in my undergrad. I was part of something called POEF effect, placenta aphasia opiate enhancing factor. We were funded by grants through our institution. Most funding comes through tuition based.
wait, hold on, and you don't think that they can just lie about that? Because we look at it, we've seen governments just give
Oh my
money at
goodness.
home for tuition, lie, and then
Listen,
No.
I'm really irritated listening to you. I have a trans child.
yeah. I mean, people though, I'm talking. I like Ash. She's been very, very respectful and very smart.
Here's the thing.
And you should respect Sage.
Yeah.
Therapy is the first step after affirming that what is going on is what's going on. Therapy helped my daughter very much into understanding for me and her of who she was. It started when she was 6. She started transitioning at 8. She has not had any medical transitioning as of yet. We're working on puberty blockers now. She is now 14. She's a late bloomer, so she just reached tender stage 2. So we will be starting puberty blockers soon for her.
Yeah. So I would just say,
But it's case by case for each individual trans child. Not every trans child goes through puberty blockers or HRT. It depends on their gender dysphoria and how it affects their day-to-day life and their, like schooling, their regular, home life, wherever. It's how it affects their life. Just like trans adults, like myself, gender dysphoria is based on how it affects your day-to-day life. If there are things that you are dysphoric about that has to do with your body or anything, that's when you get the treatment. Treatment for each individual, no matter if you're a youth or an adult, is different for each trans person. Nobody's pushing anything on children. Like for my daughter, when we went to do the puberty blockers, when we started talking to the doctor about that, she took me out of the room and sat and talked with my daughter one-on-one to find out, to make sure she knew everything, because I made sure I educated my daughter 100% on what puberty blockers were and what they meant for her. And if that way she was fully informed on the things that were going to happen, and what she did not want was to go through a male puberty. I explained to her what a male puberty looked like. She did not want that for herself. So when the doctor talked one-on-one with her, so that she knew that my daughter was in the right state of mind, one, and knew what puberty blockers were going to do for her, that's when we moved forward and got testing done, blood work done, and a whole evaluation, physical evaluation on her to see where her levels were. So because they cannot do any puberty blockers until they're tender stage 2. Once their body is there, the release of the puberty gland releases certain chemicals, and that's what they were measuring, is those chemical levels on where her puberty was. At the first testing, she was not there. The second testing, what we just had done, she is. So we can start puberty blockers, but it may not be the same for a trans boy. Certain trans boys may not want puberty blockers. Some may, because it stops their menstrual cycle. It all depends on how gender dysphoria affects the individual. Whether, like I said, whether it's a youth or an adult, it all depends on that. And it's case by case. And to deny her who she is, before I let her transition, because her father was involved, he was like, nope, you're a boy. That's the way God made you, because he's very much a Christian. It was hard for her. Once he was out of the picture, not because of that, because of something else. And she was allowed to be the girl she is, a whole nother person came out. Like, she has friends. She is a social butterfly. She is strong and courageous. I could not ask for a better child. And to see her lighten up every day and live her life as the girl she is just makes me more proud of her. Her courage helped me come out, because she didn't know about me. I came out after she did, and her courage encouraged me. And now I started HRT and everything else. I started my transition a year after her, and I am working towards my goal as being the man that I should have always been. So it's different for each individual, and you got to understand that. And you need to leave it to the medical professionals and their families, not you saying, oh, well, I don't feel this way. Do your research on what puberty blockers are, what it looks like for trans youth to transition, before you say nuh-uh, or know that, it's an objective or subjective or whatever. Listen to the lives of these children and see what's going on. Yes, I agree, they're detransitioners. There are many reasons why they're detransitioners. Most of the time it's because of lack of acceptance or lack of medical care or financial or medical health, because some trans people cannot transition, and that puts us in a very deep depression because of a medical condition that we may not know we have, or that we didn't know that could hinder getting HRT or some kind of surgical transition. And that is depressing for any trans child or trans youth or trans adult.
I agree with what you're saying. Up until you're giving them blockers, I would say until they're 18. 4 more years, then they can get that.
Why would an 18-year-old need a puberty blocker?
Do you, Ominous, do you also hold this view for precocious puberty?
What's precocious puberty? So, like, if it didn't happen, or like what?
No, it happens at like I believe as young as like 8 years old.
It can happen at 5.
What's the consequence if they don't stop it?
Well, that 5-year-olds develop breast and body hair.
Well, is there like an adverse effect to that?
Yes. Also, they can become sterile.
Okay, that's the case. Yeah, they should be given that because they need that to live.
Well,
no, they don't need it to live. They'll live without that.
They need it if they ever want to have future children. No. They need it. It's not like they can do it. They can't do it in the future.
Hold on. Why do you hold that to an importance and not distress?
Yeah, I'll tell you. Well, because time-based biological effects is different than stress. You can manage stress. People have been managing it before, but biological clocks.
No. Having children is not going to end your life. The aspect of why they would do that is because of the distress of not being able to have children as an adult. It's
a now or never, though. People can transition.
So is trans medical care, trans individuals' medical care. Like that is also now or never.
Puberty blockers and HRT do not sterilize you like for trans youth,
Uh,
not sterilize.
wait, hold on. So if they,
The only way the HRT would sterilize anyone is there are rare side effects that it does happen, because there are trans adults that can go off HRT and get pregnant, have their baby, and go back on HRT. So
I have a question.
Hold on, Pomegranate had something to say.
First,
Oh,
I
go ahead,
can't
Pomegranate.
read. I can't read the guest's name. May I
Ominous.
ask? Huh?
Ominous.
Ominous. All right. So we're talking about puberty blockers and HRT, correct?
Something like that.
All right. So from what I heard, you don't seem to have a huge understanding of puberty and or puberty blockers.
I mean, I went through it. I don't know. I had a bigger fish to fry when I was a kid, so I wasn't really worried
Well,
about
no,
it.
you're an adult now, aren't you?
Yeah.
and plus you're
Okay, so
cisgender
you-
too.
So you should know at least this, because puberty technically can start at the age, depending on it, can start at a very 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 young age.
Yeah.
In very rare cases like mine, you can start growing a chest at 2 years old.
Oh. Okay. I did not know that.
So I would suggest you start looking and doing your research, since you're an adult now, on puberty blockers and puberty in general. Because if you're going to speak on puberty blockers, you need to at least know what they do, the effects they have, and what they're used for. Because
Okay, but,
they're used for both people who are transgender and for people who are precocious puberty.
Okay, so to answer that
And they're
question,
also used on intersex children. HRT and puberty blockers are used for intersex conditions on some individuals that are cisgender and or transgender.
yeah. So then what changes when someone transitions as an adult versus a kid? Would one represent more of that trait, or is there a consequence for transitioning as an adult? So like, why can't they transition as an adult? Why does it have to be?
Because for my daughter, if she went through a male puberty, that means that she would have facial hair, body hair, things like that. Her voice would deepen, things like that. That would cause her more dysphoria as an adult.
So there's there are more.
She doesn't want that.
There are more risk associated with individuals who go through puberty. These are permanent alterations to their body. When you are assigned male at birth, meaning that you are the partial biology. I'll say that because it is partial biology, because it doesn't include. I'm not including the brain. That of a male, and there's reasons that I'm using this terminology, because when we discount the brain, I think that that's problematic. Anyways, it is very difficult. So I have a condition, and I'll just use kind of an anecdote. I have PCOS, right? This means that I have an excessive amount of androgens in my body, and I grow after a while. I grow facial hair. It's not that much. It's really kind of unrecognizable, but it causes me distress as a cisgender woman. And that type of thing happening to an individual is irreversible, and especially on individuals who are extremely masc or femme presenting. They're part of the distress that's associated with being trans individuals, like being on the other side. That this having that brain biology, that's why I started with that is different than the other biology that you have in your body.
Go on.
Is this boring to you, or are you actually just young?
That was disrespectful.
No, my cat was bothering me. I'm trying to
Okay. It's very it's distressing. So the goal of using while it has risk associated, the benefits, like I'm going to draw it back to what I was talking about, are so much more with puberty blocking. It's going to stop some of these biological processes that are associated with, like, if I could, I would take if I knew I had PCS younger, I would take hormones. I would take HRT in a sense, to stop this, but I did not get diagnosed until much later in life. I would have put myself on progesterone and estrogen. Birth control, it's a hormone being
Birth control.
replaced in my body. Yeah, birth control. That's what that would stop that from happening to me. And I don't think you have a problem with PCOS being treated with estrogen. And I would have been started when I was 15, 16 years old to stop this from happening.
Okay, so to answer that point,
Omnius, do you know what gender dysphoria is? I mean, we've been talking about gender dysphoria. Do you actually know what gender dysphoria is?
yeah,
What is gender dysphoria?
when you feel that you're
No.
not gender that you were born as.
No. See, you don't even know what gender dysphoria is. Gender dysphoria is a stress-based condition. It's a
Yeah.
mental health condition. It has nothing to do with you being transgender or cisgender. It's just how you feel when you look in the mirror and you don't do things that align with your gender. Cisgender individuals can develop it when, like they were talking about gynecomastia, a cisgender boy going through puberty and developing excess breast tissue. He might have a stress of that because now he has breast. He knows he's a boy and he's not supposed to by society standards. He may get stressed out and feel depressed and anxiety and a lot of other mental health issues that can come along with gender dysphoria if he doesn't get top surgery to reduce that breast tissue. So gender dysphoria for a trans individual is similar to that. When we look in the mirror and we see things that doesn't align with our gender, which we know our gender, like mine is man, there are things about my body that if I had access to when I was younger, like I'm giving my daughter access to now, that I wouldn't have the dysphoria at the level I do today. Not allowing her to stop or pause her puberty so she doesn't go into a male puberty is going to help her gender dysphoria, because she's going to be okay and she's going to be not going into that male where her voice is going to lower or she's going to have facial or body hair. She's not going to have that. So that way, when she's ready for HRT, she can go into HRT and she can develop into the woman that she is supposed to be developing into. So that lowers gender dysphoria for the youth, the trans youth. And it also lowers the dysphoria for us as trans individuals to get gender affirming care. Because without gender affirming care for youth, and they have severe gender dysphoria, that can lead to other mental health issues where you're massive depressive or anxiety, or you start having unalived thoughts, self-unalived thoughts. And some actually commit that self-unalivement because they did not get access, because they were deprived either by parents or by bills that are made into law against them within their states. This is harming the trans youth of our country. So the more education we get out, like trans individuals from like myself and others, professionals that are on this app are getting this education out, the more understanding that there's out there. And maybe the government, like there's a bill now that's being proposed, trans rights to be accepted and understood. That's going nationwide now. There are so many people have signed the petitions to push this bill for trans rights. And I'm one of those people that signed it. I know many have, others, even my cisgender friends have signed that petition to get this pushed. Because our rights are being taken away left and right, especially our trans youth. And we want to protect our trans youth and our trans adults from anything that would render them and push them to that space in their minds or space in their life where they feel that they're not worthy or they're less than in this country or any other country. Do you understand that?
Kind of, because why does it have to come from an external validation of how they look? Don't they know who they are on the inside?
Are you joking, Ominous? Like,
I understand, like, why do men want to appeal physically that way? I'm just saying, if they know and they understand they're gonna get it, I'm trying to understand how do they feel so hopeless if they know.
Yeah,
it's
so
how and
just
sorry.
being accepted as a person is like just like really, really important for people to thrive and like to like function within a society. It's always people who are outcasted, not supported as who they are, and ostracized. Um, oh, thanks, TikTok.
Yeah.
Okay. That are like, we know that these individuals that fall into these categories are like more likely to have adverse like they're more likely to have these adverse or more adverse life outcomes, such as like high rates of depression, anxiety, risky sexual behavior, substance abuse, all these things. It is simply that affirming individuals and simply who they are like is a direct. Oh, they left. Rip.
Yeah, morbid conditions are not something exclusive to trans individuals as well. Like we can just also associate this with like eating disorders, or ED for short. And we have no problem with validating those individuals. For some reason, it's just when society has already put people in boxes, and then they stop recognizing that comorbid conditions exist. It seems to be the case, at least from my perspective. But I don't think that individual was serious. I was trying to be nice.
It's crazy how society puts people in boxes when they themselves don't even fit in those boxes that society tries to put each individual in.
Oh my God, Sage, yes. It's like you don't fit within that. Like it's distressing to you to be in that position. Like, why are you arguing against your own self-interest? But that happens all the time. Like people are, it's kind of like a form of indoctrination. From like we want so badly to fit in. There is still kind of a societal advantage to that, of being part of a group, being part of a tribe, that you associate with. It's much more difficult to disagree with that tribe. It's much more difficult to be, a counter influence to that tribe's movement when you associate strongly with that tribe.
Look at the Teyra. It's
True.
Teyra Thursday. These little guys are native to Central and South America. They're cute.
They are cute.
Yeah, they're actually really smart little weasels. They've been seen to like pick. They'll go over to plantains and they'll grab them off the branch before they ripen, so that and then they'll hide them somewhere, and they'll wait for them to ripen and then come back and eat them, instead of like waiting for them to ripen and somebody like some other animal grabs them and eats them. They're like actually smart enough to like plan for the future, which is this is not seen in a lot of animals.
I think if we did more comparative animal behavior to human psychology, we would erase so much of the social stigma that we have regarding like social ostracization. Because when you look at nature and you compare it to humans, like it's a beautiful thing. You start to actually connect that understanding of biology to human behavior.
I 100% agree, because how certain animals think and how we think are actually very similar. And we call those normal. We call those like, oh, that's just what they do. But when we do certain things, and we look at a different side of the psychology spectrum, we're looked down upon.
We're special.
It annoys me. It's not natural. This isn't natural. And I'm like, you're literally telling me this on a smartphone. What the fuck is happening? Like you're on an app on like, what do you mean it's not natural? That's nonsense language. I don't know what you mean when you say it's not natural, because everything that we experience is natural.
Mm-hmm.
Everything. Like, unless you can demonstrate that it's supernatural, I don't know what that means.
We're ghosts. That's what it means.
Yeah,
Welcome
when
back,
you try to
Cole.
tell them this happens in nature, is just they just lose their minds.
Whoa! Welcome back, Cole. By the way, everything good?
Welcome back.
Cole had a phone call earlier.
Oh,
Yeah, that I was worried as well.
Okay,
but-
thank you.
Appreciate it.
Hi, I'm still alive. Sorry, friends.
oh, okay.
I just was talking to one of the trauma staff who's in here helping me out a little bit.
Is everything okay?
I'm okay. Well, okay, you don't know what happened necessarily. Okay. So I got into a car accident yesterday and it was pretty bad. And so I've been in the hospital since last night. I don't have anything wrong with me except some soft tissue damage. The only reason they kept me overnight was to make sure that I didn't have any like issues with my bowels, because they don't always see that on testing, so they wanted to make extra sure. And I woke up this morning and my hips felt better than they did last night, but my shoulders felt way worse. So like it's just kind of this fun game right now. But like I'm alive, I'm in one piece, and I'm probably going home today. So it was just one of the staff that was in here, like helping me clean up a little bit and helping me get back in my chair. But yeah, I'm okay, I promise.
I'm glad you're okay.
I
I know. New Year's Eve, I was in an automobile accident, and I'm still recovering. I have whiplash and concussion, and I have soft tissue damage, and I have what they call it, instability in my cervical spine, or the top part of my
Oh
neck.
no, that's no good.
So I know I'm fine physically everywhere else. It's just my neck. I'm going through physical therapy for that. So I understand you feel the effects like the day after, or like even like a week
2 days after, yeah, sometimes.
Yep. So yeah, you're gonna be a little sore because it's an impact to your body. So you're gonna be sore.
I don't know if they like gave you any pain meds either. I just have to say, who told me this? It might have been Keaton. Modern medicine is definitely great, but yeah. Sorry, what was that?
Yeah, I only take ibuprofen 800 and Flexerol for muscle relax.
Hey,
That's
I
it.
take Flexeril every night without having been in a car accident. Now I get to take it every 8 hours. But yeah, they gave me because technically I came in as a trauma patient. So even though I don't have a lot of like physical, like outward physical signs of being hurt, they obviously did the testing to see that like I was hurt and I am indeed in pain. They gave me a little bit of, I can't say that.
Yeah.
The rug that starts with F. That's very dangerous unless in a good setting. So like
Okay.
safe setting, so it was okay. And then after that, when I got moved up to like the trauma unit, like inpatient floor, they started giving me oxy, but I've been waiting absolutely as long as I can in between taking them. If anybody's wondering, for TikTok purposes, I meant oxygen.
Glad you're breathing on your own.
Yeah. So
you have a better hospital than I do.
Mhm.
They just looked me over, did a couple of x-rays, and sent me home. That was it.
Yeah, I really like this hospital. They were gonna take me to one that I have a lot of medical trauma at, and I was like, no, absolutely not.
I'm glad that you're doing better. I'm so glad that you're okay. And I'm so glad you're receiving medical attention and I hopefully reaffirming that you can seek medical care, because I think that's so important to determining life outcomes. So I'm so glad you have a place that is going to treat you right.
Absolutely. Also, I need to say this just because it's like one of the sweetest things that ever happened to me. So after the accident, I called my partner and I'm obviously like bawling and panicking, and there's a bunch of EMS coming up to me and stuff. So after a few minutes on the phone, one of the EMS dudes was like, "Can I talk to him for a minute?" And I was like, "Yeah." And he literally, this made me cry when he told me last night. Literally, he literally told the person on the phone to please use my correct pronouns because everybody had been misgendering me and he could hear it and it was bothering him.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I actually cried when he told me that, because he doesn't just care about me in like one way or another sometimes, you know, like he cares about the whole of me all of the time, which I just really appreciate. So yeah, I've had good people around me too. I haven't been able to see him. I won't see him till Monday because he had surgery scheduled for today, of course. So he'll be getting a minor surgery later.
I'm glad everything was okay. And that is so sweet.
Yeah, he's pretty bomb.
I'm a new person.
I'll have to drag him onto a live sometime.
Not the dragging.
Peer pressure.
Hi, Cav.
Hello.
Hello again.
Yeah,
I don't know who you are.
Cal, keep coming in our spaces. You know this information. You know the science, but
I
you
know
keep coming in.
Paige.
With your... Yeah, you know me. Yeah, we've debated before.
Yeah. Just because I know some empirical evidence doesn't mean that I have to agree with it. Doesn't mean that
that
correlation-
literally, hold on. No, that literally just makes you
correlation is causation.
delusional. No, Kat,
Right.
that literally just makes you delusional. Like the basic definition of delusional is just having information that like is disagreeing with your own claim, and you still having the belief on the opposite side of it. Cav, so
I got
congratulations.
information that refutes
Yeah,
what you guys are
just-
saying too, though. So I don't understand what your
No,
point is.
no, we don't. I'm very sorry. Hi, I've actually studied psychology for quite some time. I committed myself to learning this information. I spent shit tons of money on it, and time, and care deeply. Have you done those things? Because I have.
Yeah, so I actually studied biology. I have a degree in biology, and I've dabbled in psychology. And the inference problem I have with the way you're going about this already is that you're using psychology to prioritize biological categories.
No,
They're not biological.
I studied biopsychology, Cav.
They're not biological categories. It's just as simple as that. They're
You're using
they can be looked at from like a social aspect and other things. There are more than just one like way you can define man and woman. It's almost because like these things aren't grounded in like objective reality. They're grounded based off of like social contexts. So they have to by their very nature be subjective, and because of that, they can change over time. And
you're using social ontology.
yeah. So like, have you ever looked into like sociology at all?
Yeah,
It's a
yeah.
whole
Like
field of study.
Yeah, I know you guys are using social ontology to justify your position. I understand where you're coming from, but this subjectivity that you keep referencing back to is what leads to like this complete like collapse of these categories.
You don't think biology, excuse me, has subjectivity to it?
In what sense?
Well, where do we draw the line at speciation?
Where do we draw the line on determining species?
What is this animal? It's a stoat, but what species?
Yeah, well, we're gonna look at the upstream causal mechanism.
But
that
where
led
is
to
that
the
line
instantiation
drawn?
of that species?
Where is the line drawn?
Every time we
There
look at
is-
like weasel genomes, we just keep freaking
Yeah,
finding
like
new
for-
species because we
Yeah,
realize that
for-
they're way
for
more genetically
example,
diverse
if a lion-
than previously
So,
thought.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
so willing.
a lion
to-
and a
to
tiger, a
fight
lion and a
this.
tiger, like bred with each other, right? They're still going to be. It's not going to be a new species, right? Just going to be a
Yeah,
hybrid.
but I'm not
hybridism.
asking these questions. I'm asking where do we draw the line, and it is subject to us and how we are viewing these things. There is subjectivity in biology because it's descriptive, not prescriptive, right? It's based on our determination of where things fall, and then we categorize language around it, and that's okay. But to literally understand it is the same in psychology and sociology. These things have biological aspects, but they're all kind of like groups that we make up right?
Yeah, but hold on. One thing that's standard in biology is that biological categories, for the most part, that are grounded in causal mechanisms, are not able to change categories, right? Like, so
No
changing
one said that
downstream,
about trans individuals.
changing
Not
downstream
once.
traits.
No,
Okay, so everyone
no
here,
one.
so everyone here doesn't refute biology when it comes to what a male is and what
Yeah.
a female is.
No one here refutes male and female. We're talking about gender.
Okay, then
which
we
is-
should then let's stick to the social aspect and the utility behind the way you guys are using it.
No, I'm not a utilitarian. I think utilitarianism is an awful mechanism.
Okay, then let's just get straight into the social definition of woman.
Yeah, first
Okay.
person subjective experience that of.
Pardon me? Is that you just give a
First-
definition?
First person subjective experience that of. Yeah.
Is that your definition of a woman?
Yep. Have a problem
That's a
with
new
it?
one. Oh, give me a second to think about it. I haven't heard that one before. That's oh man, that's question begging.
How is that question?
A first person subjective experience of themselves. Is that what you said?
No, that of the woman, like that is it is the case that that an individual who experiences themselves and you probably don't have a problem with circular definitions.
I have a big problem with circular definitions.
Hey Stotsky, want to explain why that's not true?
Yeah. How do you describe left, right, up, down, forward, backwards without being like viciously circular?
How does that have to do with the oh wait,
Oh
you're giving
no, you
social
can't.
definition.
You can't.
Hold on.
Because they're.
Hold on. Can you ask the question again?
Yeah. So
Give
how
me a
do you
second to
define-
think over here, bro. My brain doesn't process that fast.
Yeah. So how do you define like left, right, up, down, forward, backwards? Like how do you define directions without like being viciously circular about referring to each other? You really can't.
What does left mean? What does right mean?
Yeah. So like if we literally Google what left is, let's go to Merriam-Webster.
Well, yeah, it's going to be from a first-person perspective, right?
Yeah. We're talking about things in
Interesting.
which are relative, and we need to have a relativity associated with them. And Qualia Queen said, what is tall? That's a good example. In some things, we do need relativity to define them because they're social attributes, right? And they're comparing to other things. And that's fine in this
Okay.
case.
Yeah, I need a minute here to think about this because it sounds like a false equivocation hidden in this to allow circularity in your definition because circularity is allowed in like the directional aspect. So give me a minute here.
Left
Yeah,
is,
it's
I haven't been posed that one before.
left is a
Yeah,
social
it-
construct as well. Like the ideas of directions are like completely socially constructed. What forward is like, there's no reason why forward is forward. It's just that society stuck to it and like arbitrarily we've said, okay, it's all good. But yeah, like every one of these
And it-
definitions has the word left in it, of relating to being situated on or being on the side of the body, which the heart is mostly located. But if you were to ask where that is, that's on the left hand side.
Hold on. Just give me a second here to write this down and break it down. I can't track what you're saying and internally think at the same time.
What was the
No.
Ooh,
Stosky, when you said that, it was fucking a light bulb moment for me.
I
'Cause
agree.
I knew I wasn't wrong, right? I knew I wasn't wrong, but I couldn't describe it. And then you said that, I was like, oh yes, exactly.
What was the last part of your definition again? A woman is somebody whose first person perspective of that of
Yeah,
What is
of
it?
and then
of what?
yeah, so first
A woman?
person yeah, well it cuts off at of because when you're saying woman, or you could say man, or you could say non-binary. It fits all like categories of the social
Well, you
gender
can't say
identities.
if you're defining man. I'm sorry, if you're defining woman, you can't end it the of with man because then that would be applying that they're a man, right? That would be a circular definition of a man, right? You know what I'm saying?
We've already told you that circular definitions, and this it's not viciously
No, I know,
circular.
but then just complete your sentence for me. Is it going to be woman when you're giving the definition of woman, or is it going to be man?
Do you not understand that I'm telling you that it fits every gender category?
Oh, hold on. Okay, slow down.
Insert the blank.
Give the definition of woman, and then you
First
answer with
person subjective experience of blank, and I put blank there because it's depending. Like woman would be woman.
Okay, but then if you add man there, does that you think that logically follows if you add man at the end of that sentence?
Well, that would be a contradiction if I put
Exactly. So then you have to end it with woman.
Yeah, I don't know what you're not getting about me saying that was a blank and it fits all gender categories.
Well, the problem with leaving a blank there is when I've asked you to define what a woman is, right? When you leave that last
I
part,
understand this, Cav. I'm saying
okay, then
that woman.
why are you not completing the
put
definition then?
women in that blank?
Perfect. That's what I just want to confirm. Thank you.
Yeah, this is also like something that's like we're talking about like what would be considered like a subjective definition. It is something that is based off of experiences and rely on like context for meaning. They like lack. It is only like really problematic whenever you're gonna say like it's like viciously circular where you're not adding any new information whatsoever. Like if you're going to go into like what like ethical behavior or moral behavior is, like you're eventually going to loop back on yourself at some point. But we're gaining information while we're doing this, so it makes sense.
So the problem that I have with like having a universal definition is that it does take the nuance of what culture that you're specifying. So had we said American add subculture in there, woman, we might get more information from that definition because those psychosocial schemas have different attributes to them. So in this, we have to be as vague as possible because woman means different things to different cultural aspects.
Yeah, this is something that like I've over the last like few weeks realized that like there's some like really fun there's some really goofy stuff that relates to like what definitions are that like a lot of the opposition just they don't understand it. Like they can't just say, well, this is what a woman is. Like they would have to like basically the only way that you can get out of that is if you have like an claim of why we ought to have it this way. And most of the opposition do not have the boots to that hike whatsoever. That is a hike that like most people don't go down because it's hard.
You know, in Googling this isn't going to turn up a lot of answers.
Oh yeah, I got one answer to the first part already.
Okay.
That's weird. What was that? Yeah. So like you already made like when I contested that it was a circular definition, I was correct to do so because when you then try to make an equivocation to directions, right? Those when it comes to directions as definitions, they're going to be indexical, right? Meaning that what they're doing is point to some kind of etymology in place, or works in language, but if you're referring to the word woman, right, we're not referring to directions like turning 90 degrees from the direction I'm facing. You know, you are applying a circular reason that does not, make the definition coherent.
Yeah. So
yeah.
I think you
made a false you made a false equivocation by saying that, oh, but we do this with right, left, up, down. I mean, you can do a quick Google search to figure out why this is not you cannot equivocate these two things.
Queen has in this is exactly what I was thinking. Left isn't only 90 degrees.
Yeah, it's based on the direction you're facing.
Yeah, but how relative. Do you know which way you're facing? You don't.
It's dependent on the person, but again, hold on, and again, this works in language, right? Because this is indexical, right? This is different from a different use of the word, such as woman, right?
No, not really, because like if you were to come out like try to learn English without any sort of like reference of actual usage, and try
Let me
to
get you an
understand
example.
the word, like what left is, like you'd actually have to have like some sort of physical display for you to actually be able to understand what left is versus right.
I think it's easier than this. Like the reference point is still that of the subjectivity of the person. Like I don't think that you can explain left without in reference to other positions. And maybe I can add on to the definition.
Maybe a better way to explain it is your definition is circular for directions, but not in reality, right? Like in reality, like from your perspective, you know what a 90-degree turn is left from your own
But that's
perspective.
not all of left.
But hold on, but when you say a woman, right, is that of somebody who experiences that of a woman, right? The difference here is that it's not just circular language; it's a circular reality.
The problem that I'm having is that explaining left as a 90-degree turn would be like explaining woman by saying that we cook dinner. That's the problem that I'm having, that I don't think your definition actually matches.
You're giving the wrong definition of a 90-degree turn, though, right? When you say what does left mean,
but
you're
that's
gonna say
not
you're gonna say
left.
a 90. Hold on, you're gonna say to define what left means, right? You're gonna say it's a 90-degree turn from your perspective.
No, but I wouldn't say that that's what left is.
No, you don't think it would be distinct from right?
I would call it a 90-degree. I would call that a right angle.
Cav, do you think that you can turn 100?
Right angle
Cav,
too. You can say 90 degrees.
Cav, I'm asking you a question. Do you think that you can turn more than 90 degrees or less than 90 degrees left?
And also,
yes, but that does not refute. Hold on, that does not refute
which
the
direction?
definition I gave.
Which direction of 90 degrees am I going?
Yeah, that's going to be the circular part of the language, which would be left.
It is circular. Yeah. So this is so subjective definitions like this that are circular are completely fine when it's called self-referential language. So like we're referring on itself to actually describe these things. Gender falls into the same category that it is self-referential. It cannot be outside. Like there's no way to talk about gender without it being self-referential in some way. With you to actually have like a proper gender. Otherwise, you're just reducing individuals to their biological.
Am I not doing the same thing you are, Cav, by saying the first person subjective experience of a woman, and you're saying the 90-degree angle left?
Yes.
And also, we're doing the same thing. So why is my definition?
Because what I'm trying to show here is that under your definition of left and right, the language can be circular, but it's still within reality. But when you say a woman is somebody who has a subjective first experience of a woman, that's going to be you're referring.
It is within reality. Okay. I hate to break it to you.
Can I finish?
Someone, no, and I will. I don't tend to interrupt, but you saying subjective experience is not in reality is. Like astounding to me as someone who studied biology.
I'm not saying that.
Let Ashlyn finish. She is correcting you for misinformation, and you need to let women speak, Cav.
I'm correcting her.
Learn how to let women speak.
I'll
I have a wife. Trust me, I know how to let women speak.
I actually think Cav is Cav. I'll let you finish. I interrupted you. You interrupted me. It was
but Ashlyn, when you're interrupting for misinformation, that's something that we do allow on this panel, and I would say encourage because it's against TikTok terms of service.
Okay.
So, like, if you wanted to finish, you could. Like, we can shut them up long enough if you want, but.
Okay, you could see it as misinformation if you misperceived what I said or misheard what I said here, right?
That's exactly why I'm going to let you finish, because I didn't, and you're claiming that it's going to be something different. So
no, I can agree that a subjective experience can be real, like a psychological state can be real. But what I'm saying is, in your definition, right, it's not about a subjective state being real. It's that you're referring to that subjective state by referring to itself again, which is making it circular within reality. I'm not saying that it's not real in reality. I'm saying the way you've defined it has made it circular within reality.
I don't know what you mean by this. Could you like maybe give an example to
Yeah.
clarify?
Let me find a good example here.
And there's actually like scholarly papers about this, about when like circular definitions are like benign versus like actual problematic, published in like philosophical journals.
Why I was interrupting is because we do see brain states in biology that would back up my position, and like there are tracts that are difference, because there are differences between and we've difference from that of man and woman to that of male and female. We have man and woman as a different subcategory in biology that we've looked at. So it is that which exists in reality. I'm not fond of this argument because I think it borderlines transmedicalism. But I think it's an important piece of data that I can use in this very specific argument. And that's why I'm kind of disappointed in you, Cav. If you claim biology, I can claim biology too. Like I said, biopsychology is a thing, and we have this like aspect in biology.
I was thinking about that study earlier as well, so like thank you for bringing it up. I do think this is a pretty good situation in which to bring it up that will hopefully help understand.
I guess another way to put it. Hold on, you said something earlier that I wanted to address right now.
Okay.
What the fuck? What was the last statement he made?
Yeah, I was talking
before
about
the
how
transmedicalist.
how you're saying it like doesn't exist in reality, which for like so certain.
Oh yeah, I remember now.
Aspects.
Okay, so what I was gonna say to that was, sorry to interrupt. I just want to move this along quicker. I can't do this all day, but I just want to say, like, by acknowledging these mental states, which like obviously I completely agree. There's a whole bunch of different mental stage, age dysphoria, physical dysphoria, depression, so on. You're in the terms of gender, right? It seems like the pressure point here between us
Can I pause?
is going to be.
What is age dysphoria and whatever the hell else you just said that isn't actually a psychologically backed thing, apparently?
Well, these are mental states that people have experienced and have shown distress towards, right? That's how we classify them.
But the
no,
difference
you don't
is,
show distress towards your age. Like what?
Plenty of
people do all the time. Are you kidding me?
Well, not in the way. I'll let Ashton take it.
Okay, yeah. So the distinction here, and I think this is an invalid point, for this reason, is that people show distress for all sorts of things, but age isn't a sociological aspect. It's legitimately a physical aspect. Like, this is an objective truth. We can, it's mind independent. Is it truth tracking? It's truth tracking, right? We in many different ways. It is not a social concept, meaning that humans don't exist. The thing doesn't exist.
I have contentions like, man, we can just keep going at this because now we're going to go through a different line of reasoning. And like what you just said there, do we go back or do I contend what you're saying right now?
With age?
Oh,
yes.
Actually, this is really interesting. So this paper that I was talking about, like, basically just says that it's totally fine to have like benignly circular arguments if we're talking about something we already know exists. Like, we already know what a woman is. Well, you know what a woman is, right, Couch?
Okay, but
you're not dumb?
Yeah. Well, no, actually.
Perfect. So
then
actually, academic literature is saying that this is fine.
We're clearly not talking about the same kind of woman here.
Yeah, but this
is
we disagree on the definition of woman, so I think that's problematic. And this is the kind of problem that
Can I address the age thing quick before we? I didn't get the chance to address the age thing.
Yeah, go for it.
So age itself, in terms of number of years you've been alive, right, is going to be a physical property, based on obviously the revolutions around the sun, right? This physical property is what I would equate to with somebody's gender as well, that it's going to be tied to a developmental process that physically took place. Now, hold on, before you step in here,
Yeah, I'm gonna have problems with.
oh yeah, but when we're actually talking about age here, what we're actually like referencing is the social construct of adulthood and childhood and being mature. So being mature is going to be a social construct, right? What does it mean to be?
Word.
What does it mean?
You didn't
Hold on.
talk. But
Age
that's
and
a different
maturity are
word.
different.
When I said age, hold on. When I was saying age, right, I was referencing stage, life stages such as adulthood or being a child,
That's
right?
development.
I
I would
hold on,
definitionally, I would analytically disagree with you.
it's a
Right?
physical
No,
property
it's not.
nonetheless, and it's
So
also a
you're
social
Can you
using
let
construct.
Ashlyn correct you?
you're
Thanks.
using an idiosyncratic.
Age is just an arbitrary number that
No,
can vary
Apparently you
between
can't let
cultures.
Ashlyn finish.
you're using this, Cav, idiosyncratically. Do you agree?
Explain to me how. I'm not sure. I'm not familiar with the
Because you're
definition of
using it
idiosyncratic.
in a way that most people don't use the word.
Oh, but I can argue the exact same thing about the way you're using the word. What?
No, I'm
That's
not.
that's not a valid inference.
No, because it is. Because when we talk about gender, we have a whole nother word for sex. And when you're talking about gender, you're not always talking about sex.
No,
And I'll
hold
give
on.
you an example of this. A male deer. You're not talking about a man deer, are you?
I'm referring to a buck.
Yeah. A buck is a different social term.
Right, just like stallion, just like rooster, just like woman.
What's a
right?
jack?
They all describe
They
all
all
describe the
agree
same
with
things.
me.
Boil
They
Actually,
all
away.
describe the
Cav,
same
Cav,
things.
thank you for conceding the point.
They don't
What?
actually. They don't actually.
Hold on,
'cause, like, what's a
how
jack?
did I concede the point over here? You're saying that the most people are not going to use the word woman as a reference to their life stage, species, and sex.
Well,
Obviously,
hold on
if you
here,
talk
Cav.
to the majority of the
Like sex
population,
and gender
It's
too.
a
hold on, the
different
majority of the population
language.
is going to use the word woman as
Yeah.
a reference to being female and somebody who can produce babies. Not that everyone can produce babies as a
Oh
woman,
my
but the
god.
fact that it's a biological category defined by
Christ,
species that
Cav,
can
I'm
produce
not a
This
babies.
is
baby
bad.
making
Hold on one
machine.
second. Hold on one second. So, Cav, if I say Jack and Jill, what do you think I'm talking about?
Jack and Jill.
Yeah, as like
Jack and Jill is going to be, well, yeah, from a kid and growing up, what the story about Jack and Jill was obviously referencing a girl and a boy.
Yeah, but there's also like you can use it for, and it is a gender term as in like this sense as well, where it's like a buck. But it's not necessarily just for one species, and this like completely dismantles, like it's generally seen
Hold
as
on,
a donkey. A donkey is generally seen as it, but stoats are also called Jack
What?
and Jills.
Jack and Jill is referring to
Donkey,
I think
generally.
well, not when I grew
I
up, it
thought
was
donkeys
referring
were
to a song
Jennies.
or
Female
a
donkeys
story
were
about
Jennies.
it referred to a story about a girl and a boy. So I'm not sure why you're equating. Like you can use it for donkey too, sure, right?
Well, that's like the
But we're not
biological
talking.
use of it.
But you're trying to equivocate like a person's name to a gender, right? And all I'm referencing here is that the word woman, adult human, female, we use this in other biological categories such as in deer, bucks, stallions and mares, roosters and hens. I mean, this is just like, yeah, we know what we're talking about when we say rooster. We're talking about a male chicken, right? But like, why do you think that when we use the word woman, we're not referring to a female human? I mean, you're saying you're
I
trying
do-
to disagree with
totally
my
What I'm
argument,
saying
saying
is
that
that-
no, actually, that's not the way. Hold on, this goes back to the argument about age when we're referring to describing what an adult and what a child is, and you're saying, well, that's not going to be.
that's not
gonna be-
reference to
that's not gonna-
development. It's an
Age-
arbitrary 18 line that we draw. Age means
Exactly.
something different. And in the same with
But what is
the
age
language
referencing
that you're-
though?
Can I
Hold on, what is age referencing though?
Let Ashlyn finish. Jesus motherfucking Christ. Don't I encourage you to
Sorry.
mute
No,
him
you're right,
until
you're right. I
Ashlyn's done
interrupted.
speaking.
Yeah, I like when we're talking. Why I said you concede is because when we're talking about buck, we're talking about a different category. And like I've said, is that the different category of that of humans, we're having a conversation around how this language is referred to. Women, does not necessarily mean that of female. It never kind of really has. It's talking about that of like womanliness, of womanly duties. In fact, you can see this in language when you look at when you use the term like womanly, you can refer to a man, a womanly man. That is what I was saying you were conceding on, because that aspect has existed forever in our societies.
You were referring to the common usage, right? And then you brought up buck, and then now I'm asking you, what is going to be the categorical difference between a deer, a buck, and the word woman? What is the single category difference between those two?
Oh my goodness.
Of deer?
Wait.
What?
Almost there. You're almost there.
I know what he
You're
wants you to
referencing-
answer
Yeah,
as,
you're
but he's
referencing a
taking the
developmental
personhood out.
stage.
No, I'm referring
And
to
woman does not
species.
represent. No.
The
No,
only
no,
category,
no.
the only
Personhood out of
category
it.
difference here is species.
No.
Wait, no,
the
it's not
only
even species.
difference.
It's genus.
In terms
It's
of the
not
common
only,
usage?
It's not
Wait,
the
hold
only
on.
difference.
Hold on, Cav. This is not species. Is at most is genus, or it has to be at least
Hold
genus
on.
because like different deers are still called does and bucks. Correct?
Different deers are going to be does and bucks, right?
Yeah. So, but they're different species, so they necessarily would have to be genus at least,
They're
if not
well,
a more
they're
broad
actually,
category.
I
Because
think they're within the same. Hold on, I think they're within the same species. First of all, and that's just like
many
that's hold on. That's just a
types.
that's
of
hold on.
deer.
That's just a yeah. But regardless, even if there's different types of species of deer within the category of deer, right? We're referring to them as buck, referring to males and age of development. When we say woman, right, adult human, female, the only difference
but
in
why
the
are
words
you
are going to be species.
equivocating the
Because
use
you're
of these
making
words?
yeah, because you made the argument. What did you say? Idiosyncratic.
You used an idiosyncratic version of this
Right. And your definition was that wasn't the common usage of the terms child and adult, right? When I haven't even actually gave a definition of what they were, but when we're referring to woman, right, the common usage among society is going to be adult human female, not gender. Because let me put it this way: if I said there's a woman in front of me right now, right, I'm looking at a woman right in front of me right now, right? What am I referring to? What am I looking at?
It depends
When
on.
I say I'm looking at a woman.
It's a weird way to ask that question. What am I looking at?
Yeah. So, like, well, what does that tell you? What am I conveying to you when I say I'm looking at a woman right now?
To me, someone with the first-person subjective experience that of a woman.
And you're just assuming that I know what the first-person subjective of a woman is?
Well, generally.
Oh, hold on. That's not even. I don't even have to say that. When you say that, right, you still have to tell me what a woman is, because saying a woman is somebody with a first-person subjective view of a woman hasn't actually told me what a woman is.
I don't generally say when I'm like talking about people that like I'm looking at a person is the language that I typically use.
Okay, but I'm telling you, I'm looking at a woman though. Specifically, I'm using the word woman.
Yeah, I have
right?
a visual in my head. Would you like the visual?
Sure.
Yeah, generally it's associated with femme presenting qualities, but not necessarily that of. So I don't necessarily.
Perfect. We're getting somewhere now.
Yeah.
We're getting somewhere now. So like, why? Okay. So why, in your mind, did you come up with feminine qualities?
Oh yeah, because it's just associated with our subculture.
I think
our subjective experience of what women around us are perceived to be, right?
I think the biggest thing that we want to be.
It doesn't
Hold on,
make.
I'm almost done.
It doesn't make that thing to be that.
I agree. I agree. But the last question I'm going to ask you though is these traits, these feminine traits that you're associating
They're not
with
traits.
women.
They're not traits. I'm very sorry. You claim to study biology. You know they're not traits.
Feminine. Oh, then okay. Then let me ask you more specifically. What feminine characteristics are you referring to?
Like if you're looking at someone, it could be body language.
I asked you, I'm looking at a woman, and you said, "Oh, what do I perceive that you're looking at in my mind?" Oh, it's going to be like
So
feminine characteristics,
no.
right?
Traits are associated with genes, and genes are passed on. Socio aspects aren't necessarily. If a group of people passed away, the aspect of what these gender qualities are going to difference. It could just be
What's
someone. Yeah.
what's the image that when I tell you I'm looking at a woman, like what's the image that you're introspectively developing in your head? Feminine characteristics, right?
Yeah, but not necessarily traits.
Okay, then can you give me somewhat like you
Yeah,
mentioned
I've
one
known women
performative? They're not doing anything though. They're just standing there. So I mean,
Okay,
like
cool.
what else?
So like it could be a woman that's an elderly woman that has a mustache. And the only reason that I know she has that maybe she's a woman because all the other physical aspects, the phenotypical aspects, are technically masculine. But that is not woman.
So when I tell you I'm looking
masculine.
at a woman, you're imagining somebody with a mustache?
No.
Okay, then like you just give me the image that you're creating in your head of
No,
what I'm looking at.
I'm not going to like sit here
Okay,
and
I'm
like,
gonna-
argue with you on.
Yeah, I'm gonna interject here
like-
too, because like it's very clear that like Cav,
Okay.
you want like a
I'll
like
move
a,
on.
pedago-
I'll move on.
a pedological. Do you know what a pedological definition is?
Pedological, I haven't heard that phrase before.
Pedagogical, I think pedagogical. It's basically this idea that like it's a definition that you can bring to an alien and they'll understand if they understand the words that you're using. But like what we're trying to do is like ground gender in something that's like related to personal agency, that it's actually like related to these individuals, instead of like a direct biological classification.
Oh, I get that, but I know, but my problem, the problem with everybody on my side is that like when you say that and you say like a woman is just like anyone who identifies as a woman, right? You're not conveying to anybody what constitutes membership in that category. If it's just identity alone, right?
You
then-
don't do
then-
that well either, Cav.
Well, to close, I just want to close my last statement here. You didn't want to give a visualization of what I was looking at when I said I was looking at a woman.
Because it's
And I would just
problematic.
like leave this for your thought here. The only thing I'm
I
leaving
know,
your thought
Cav,
is
because
that
you
image.
want me.
Hold on.
You want
hold on.
me to. No,
Oh no, you don't have to do
want-
anything.
No,
I just want to leave you with a
Cav,
thought.
shut the fuck up for 2 seconds. What you wanted
You're
me to
interrupting
do-
me, by the way.
Yeah, I
So,
know.
okay.
I'm okay with that. Yeah, we've been doing that this whole conversation. You want me to tell you of a woman barefoot in the kitchen, pregnant, with an hourglass figure, and that is not what I view a woman as. I'm so sorry. I view women as so many different things. In fact, I view my own aspect of being a woman in more of an androgynous sense, and that is the problem. Like, that is exactly the problem, is that you want women to be barefoot in the fucking kitchen, pregnant, and that's the view that you want society to have, but that isn't necessarily the case. That's
How did
never
you
been
come
what
up with that
women...
conclusion? Sorry, how did you come up with that conclusion on my worldview? Because I hold the view that a woman can be both masculine and feminine, and they could be whatever they want, right?
Cav, did you laugh when Ashlyn was responding to you?
Laugh?
Yeah, did you laugh?
I honestly don't even remember.
It doesn't
Did I?
matter. How I came up with that view is that
I just
you
wanted
were-
to know is all. I didn't say it mattered. Sorry.
I'm sorry, Cole. I apologize. I'm more into the antics of this conversation.
That's fine.
How I came up with this is that you are dismissing all social identities of that. You
Sure.
seem to be, at least.
We're not asking what the definition has meant. We're asking what it can do for us. We're not using like a bioessentialist definition because that's how it's been used. We're building off of the words to grow and expand their meaning to better reflect how people are using the words.
Yeah, I don't see how you're like if you say expanding meaning provides some kind of utility, right? Like I think everybody on my side fails to see that because all you're doing is kind of blurring the lines between man and woman.
Cool.
Right.
Yeah.
And if anything-
but
if
that's
anything,
biology.
It's enforcing.
And
if
you're
anything,
just a person with a dick. So can I
Hold
just
on.
start calling you with that?
I don't care. It wouldn't bother me.
Yeah. So you like person with a dick.
Yeah, go ahead.
That doesn't bother you.
I find it
Why
very
would it bother me?
dehumanizing. Like you're not actually caring about the individual inside.
So what's going to be the individual inside that's going to be distinct from the other gendered category, or even like distinct amongst everybody within that category? Like
I
you're
don't know, Kat.
referencing.
Maybe
Hold on, you're
it is
referencing.
no,
you're
maybe it
referencing
is the
something.
fact. Maybe it is the fact that other people have humanity and you just don't. Because that's what I'm kind of learning from this conversation about you.
Again, where
Yeah,
how can you come up with that
Cav, I was
conclusion?
about to add,
That's
this
a
is
major
why.
assumption.
Cav,
you
this
know
is
nothing
why,
about me.
and this is my
You know nothing
theory.
about me.
What did he just fucking say?
You know nothing about me. Make that assumption.
Okay, we've listened to you a lot, and I just need to interject and say this. I think that things like internalized misogyny play a huge role into this, because if they don't feel like they're dehumanizing women when they dehumanize women, they don't feel like they're doing that to make themselves feel better, then why would they feel offended when they're dehumanized?
What?
Like, that's
How?
just a thought and a theory, but that's what I'm seeing pretty
How?
clearly with this
Yeah,
one.
correct.
Cav,
How is defining a woman as an
I've
adult human
been
female
you.
dehumanizing at all?
Because as we've already explained to you several times, it takes out the social cultural aspects, it takes out the psychosocial aspects, it takes out so much, because I am not just an adult human fucking female. I hate to tell you that my womanhood is not associated with that, and I would hope to think that you having a dick does not mean that you're a man, and that explains your manhood.
What makes you a woman? Tell me then.
What makes me a woman?
Tell me.
Culturally and subjectively, it's about how I identify with certain attributes in my culture.
When you say culturally, right? That's not going to be applicable across cultures, correct?
Yeah. I'm honestly like kind of done with you and your like lack of empathy.
That's running right now. You're literally running from the question.
I'm running so fucking far that you
gave an answer. You gave an answer.
Also,
right?
like, protecting
and all
our
it did
peace.
was
I
question.
encourage you, Cav, to go study psychology and sociology. Actually study it instead of
I
just
just refuted. Yeah, I just refuted that. What you think makes you a woman?
we've explained
right?
it to you
It's
so many fucking
It's not
times.
exclusive.
You just aren't listening, Cav.
You aren't listening, and I'm done. There's a difference
Okay.
between me
I mean,
not
I don't think
sitting
it's
here-
about. I don't think it's about listening.
Hey, Stosky, how
I'm
long
making
has
good
this
arguments
As
here.
he
conversation been going
interrupts,
on?
he says, I don't think it's about listening. As he interrupts.
We're
The
interrupting
irony
each
is screaming.
Yeah, what were you saying,
Literally
Ackland?
gone through this. Yeah, we've had you on for some time, explained it to you, and I am allowed. See, I know you don't recognize how people experience emotions because you want to put everything in a biological box, but I am done with you as a person because I recognize the fact that you just want to think that it's a black and white concrete spectrum, and I've dealt with men like you in the past who
Here we
want to
go.
do this type of thing. Yeah, hear me go.
Here you go.
having-
Yeah, just like more assumptions. Like
Well, let me just ask you this,
you
Cav.
haven't.
Hold
They're
on.
not
You haven't
assumptions.
instantiated-
It's dealt with like what I'm
You haven't.
experiencing.
Yeah, you haven't. Like every time that I put you in a pressure point, right? You go back to make an assumption about me instead of like arguing the substance or the merits of my argument.
What pressure?
And that's the problem that you guys are having right now. Is like
Yeah, so
instead of attacking the
Cav,
substance,
I can't actually attack the substance. Is humankind defined? Is it how we relate to our animal ancestors, or how we're different? Is being a human just merely being Homo sapiens, or is it more than that?
being a human,
Yeah.
like under a biological sense.
No, just within like you being a human. What are you defined as? How you relate to your animal ancestors, or how you are different?
Yeah, it's going to be a relation to my ancestors, obviously. That makes me human.
Oh, that's fucking
Otherwise,
crazy. I
what
take
would-
that as reductio ad
otherwise, what would-
absurdum. That's insane.
Yeah, sorry.
So
Like,
you
what's
think
the
that
what's
humans
the
are
what's the
just
issue
their
with that?
biology?
If you're using the word human biologically, right? What else could I reference other than biology?
Yeah, I'm not just saying biology. It is far more than just biology. It's psychology, it's sociology. It's a huge list of different things that makes us human.
Yeah. Do we have a higher state of consciousness? Like, yes, obviously.
so
that would be
it's-
another way to say
Being human
what
is not
makes a human
defined.
apart from animal.
Yeah, so being human shouldn't be defined about how we relate to our animal ancestors, correct?
Hold on. We're talking about a biological grounding, right? So
No,
like
no,
how
I'm
would
talking
you
outside of
how
biology.
well then okay, under what I just said, humans are going to have a higher level of consciousness, right? If I just left it at that to define humans, that would leave other humans
A
out of
higher
that
level of
definition.
I don't even necessarily agree that they
Okay,
have a
how would you
higher
define it
level of
then?
consciousness.
I was just giving another, trait that humans would possess that kind of separates us from animals. But if you're just giving me like what's going to be the distinction between all biological categories, it's going to be our lineage, right? Our evolutionary
Yeah,
biology,
I still just
ancestors. So other than that, like, can you tell me what else makes a human a human?
yeah, it's like personal agency. Like that's like
Okay,
what
do all
humankind
humans have
is.
do all humans have personal agency?
Yeah, everybody who does anything has some sort of agency.
Not careful. Do all humans have personal agency?
Yeah, so some people are what would be considered like marginal agents.
Okay, it sounds like you're excluding some individuals now.
Yeah, because okay, so do you think that
Well,
individuals who are
that's a
not
problem
able
right
to
there.
make hold on, do you think that individuals who are not able to make like actual like good like kids are able to who can't make like fully informed decision should have all the same rights as everybody else in terms of like having the freedom to do what they wish?
Children should have the
Yeah.
freedom to do whatever they wish. Absolutely not.
Oh, okay, so yeah, you agree with this. They're
I also
marginalized. They're
wouldn't
marginal agents. They have some
in
ability to do
science.
things, but we don't actually necessarily protect all their freedoms of like being able to do what they want to, but rather we care about their well-being.
Hold on, you
Also,
kind
also
of pivoted here. Hold on, let me address them first. Let me
No,
address
hold
them
on.
first.
When we talk about infants too, they're not fully conscious. So like
Exactly.
no, but at the same time, when we talk about aspects, you would separate us as a group due to consciousness. So I'm not understanding your position at all.
Okay. When you asked me, the contention here was like when it comes to humans, like there's got to be something more to being a human than just simply your ancestral and biology, right? And I said,
Yeah.
well, like yeah, and in some cases, like we can describe humans
Most
as having like a
cases.
high level of
Most
okay,
cases.
sure. Most cases, humans are going to possess a higher level of consciousness, right? And I said even that would like be excluding some people if we use that as solely as a defining factor for being human. And when I asked you to give a definition of human that encompasses something more than ancestry, right? You said moral agency. But the problem with that is not all humans are going to have equal moral agency or have moral agency at all, depending on their mental state. So that definition saying that all humans are going to possess
But
this
it's problematic
is not a good
on your
definition
worldview
because
too.
it doesn't.
And
You
I'm
don't want to
also,
leave some humans out of your definition,
Have you
right?
ever heard of like
That's
but
the
that's
problem.
the
revisionist
thing
theory?
that you're doing too, and that's the importance of using vague definitions on like gender. That's the point. Is that when we're talking about this, you're drawing
What?
arbitrary lines and which can exclude the same exact way.
Not at all. It's actually you guys doing that. You guys are actually the ones doing that right now, not me. I'm actually grounding everything in an evolutionary biological process. When you say
But
that,
you're not.
man,
You
hold
said
on.
it was grounded in consciousness.
When you include people into the woman category based on self-identity alone, right? The
I
category
need you to
collapses.
address what I said first before you move on to this. You said
Okay, repeat what you
consciousness,
said.
did you not?
Yeah, I didn't say that was a necessary condition.
But that was your basis of your argument is consciousness, was it not?
No, oh my gosh, you're like again, when we were talking
It's a
about
yes
the
or no
definition,
question, Cav. It's not that hard to answer yes or no. One word.
yeah, it's gonna be a no. Consciousness is not gonna
Okay, so
define humans.
consciousness is not. So what is your defining factor of human?
Human, it's gonna have to do with ancestry, evolutionary biology, right? The species that you're categorized, which would be part of the Homo sapiens,
That
and then
describes like
all
minus
humans,
just
all
so
humans.
you saying being of the species Homo sapien, that's circular and that's viciously circular.
Actually, it's not. It's kind of like it's actually not circular. Being a human is of the Homo sapiens species.
Yeah.
is not
So
circular.
what are
What's
Homo
the
sapiens
detail
called?
being added?
Yeah. What are hominids?
Yeah, Homo
called?
sapiens. Homo
Well,
sapiens.
no, hold
yeah,
on, hold
so
on.
like that's gonna be
What are hominids called? Humans.
Hmm?
Hominids are called humans. You're saying humans are humans.
saying humans are of the Homo sapiens species.
Well,
What
no, humans
detail
are
is
the
being
genus
added?
hominid.
Just
Homo.
ask me, yeah. So if you want me to define the species, right, that's going to be a more complicated definition. Look it up.
Who doesn't know what viciously circular versus not
Yeah,
is?
so
It's
like
really quite astounding.
So I think the biggest
I'd
problem
have
here
to
is that, like,
I'd have to look up a biological definition of the species of Homo sapiens, but it's going to refer. Hold on, it's going to refer to a causal mechanism and ancestry.
But
Yeah,
we're
so-
not just causal mechanisms. Like, what are you? Are you like an absolute nihilist? Like
We're-
I'm
okay,
so
then-
much more than that, my biology. In the terms, not in the terms that I am more.
You're
than
thinking
my,
too deep into it, Ashley. Because
No, I'm
like,
not.
Well, then
No,
if I asked you,
I'm,
well,
no,
listen,
Cab,
Ashley.
no.
If I
I'm
asked
not
you to
think-
define
You
human,
interrupted me this time.
okay.
I am not thinking too deeply into this. You're not thinking enough about how social constructs and how socialization impacts the mind. Like, that's what you're not doing.
I don't reject this.
Well, I don't group people in arbitrary finds in biology. I think it's important to understand biology, but I also think that it's important to look at the deeper meaning in these things, because they impact individuals and they impact the biology, and you're just discounting that like it doesn't exist, but it does. In fact, you know about epigenetics and how we use words changes how things are coded and what is coded. Like, it impacts it deeply, and you just think that doesn't exist. Like, I think that if, as a person, you would I assume, would find that epigenetics is a fascinating subject.
I'm not. Yeah, I'd have to look into that quick. But like, just to reference what you're saying, right? Like, do you not think that categories should be stable in themselves?
Not all categories.
Yeah, so if we want like an
Not all
essentialist
categories.
definition,
Like, for example, when we were
hold on.
talking about
Yeah.
about humans, right?
The
You would
house
want
is
to give a
trying to
definition that.
Yeah, I'm trying to speak because like this is really depending on how we're actually wanting to find something. That there are different types of definitions when we're talking
It's your
about
life,
something.
so I'm gonna listen.
Yeah, so but
As you
Yeah.
speak, gods.
yeah, I'm just gonna drop you if you keep doing it.
Yeah.
What you are trying to do is you're trying to find, like, you have like a very essentialist view of definitions, of like all definitions have to be able to be, you know, from an alien coming in and saying, hi, you know, I'm an alien, teach me what a human is. Like, we're not we're not in that case. We all know what a freaking woman is. We all know this. But what we do know, so since we know this, we can use things such as like revision theory to like actually come about and say, hey, we want to actually make use of this word in a more nuanced way, essentially, and build meaning onto this word beyond just being an animal. We want to use it in a way that actually applies to our social structures that we have created, instead of just saying it's a mere biological trait, because that actually is much better in terms of how it's actually used in day-to-day life compared to just being mere biology. Because your definition accounts for no trans people. You're not just accounting. You're just not accounting for 1% of the population at that point.
What do you mean? A trans person is somebody who has an incongruence with the gender assigned at birth.
And we don't disagree. We don't disagree.
That's a mental state.
We don't disagree that it differs from biology. No one that I know in the trans community speaks on the way that say that they're, and I would say 100% biology, because brain biology also counts. No one uses it in that way. Like, they say, I am a T woman, you know, that no one is sitting around going, I am a biological woman, to the 100% extent, you know, and that's like your argument is over definitions. It really is. And that's why I think it lacks any substance.
Hold on. If you don't have a coherent definition, right, then how are you able to create a category or
We've
even a
already
distinction
had the
between man and
conversation
woman?
about the definition.
But hold on. Like you just finished saying, like biology actually like creates this category of man and woman under adult human male.
No, biology doesn't
Hold on,
use
let
the
me
term
finish.
male and woman or man
me
and
finish.
woman. It doesn't use that. It uses male and female. And in fact, when I write papers in my fucking degree field, it doesn't use man and
Oh my
woman.
gosh.
That is
Slow it
fucked
down.
up.
Slow it
No,
down.
I'm
What
getting
the
upset
fuck are
at
you
you.
tone policing, Ashlyn? Now
Does-
shut the fuck up, Cav.
I'm
Does
getting
adult-
upset at you because there are no biology papers that exist past 2010 that use the term man and woman to describe individuals as a like they talk about it in terms in biology, which is male
me
and
ask you this then.
female.
I got you. Let me ask you this then. Do you agree that one of the definitions of woman is adult human female? Or do you completely reject this?
I think it's a fine
I
definition.
reject it entirely. Yeah, I think
You
it's
reject it
insufficient.
entirely.
Yeah, I reject it
reject
entirely
entirely.
as
From a-
insufficient. And that is why when I talk about it in any, or you look up papers on this, we talk about, we add the adjectives associated with this. Cis, trans, we added another aspect of an adjective to our language to be appropriate, to describe this thing entirely. And
Yeah.
like by the way, I'm
You're saying
friends with a lot of biologists. Never had one use the type of language or say that they would use the language that you're using, even if they disagree with me in a paper. No biologist that I know uses the term man and woman to describe adult human female.
okay, I don't even want to find some for you because like I don't think that's worth it right now.
Post 2010.
But either way, right? Even like let's say you just reject it completely, right? It is still a
No.
coherent
I want you to
definition.
go away. Post 2010. Find me a paper.
Post 2010.
Just
What?
one paper. Yep.
One biological paper that references the word woman as an adult human female.
In a peer-reviewed, recognized work.
This is interesting. Okay.
I don't think that's a reasonable ask.
Well, why?
Yeah, actually, this
Um,
is.
I don't know if that's a reasonable ask. Yeah, and but then either way, like
Why isn't
without
that a no?
hold on,
Why
I don't
isn't
even
that
have
a
to
reasonable ask?
hold on. I don't even have to bring that up. I could just allow you and grant you that you rejected the my biological definition of what a woman is. Fine, you rejected
Well,
it, right?
no.
But under hold on,
Now the field is rejecting your definition too.
not okay. Sure, I'll grant you that just for this moment, right? But still,
cool.
the
So
definition
now
you
I
have
have-
given
I-
me.
now I
oh my
have-
god, you're gonna
now
keep
I
interrupting
have-
me?
Now
Oh my
I
gosh.
have.
I granted
now
that.
I
I
have-
granted that to you to make a statement. Are you gonna let me make a statement?
Sure.
Okay, so the statement I was gonna make is under the definition that you previously gave, right, does not create a category of woman.
Yeah, actually, it does. So under.
Are you in the field?
Wait, hold on. Even if we just
Singularity
take
doesn't define the
Ashlyn's.
term.
Yeah, so actually, here's the thing. You just made a critical blunder because there's a whole field of psychology called revision theory, and it actually looks at what if we're using like a definition that is circular, if it is actually like after a few revisions or after a few cycles, if like no matter what your initial theory of what a woman was, like regardless of what you are doing with it, like whatever you say is a woman in the first place, it will actually all within a society will always focus on what we would all consider women at this point. It goes into a like basically our ideas of women are like point towards like a fixed point over time, and no matter what you start out, if you just say woman is someone who identifies as a woman, we can see that this concept will actually lead us to like a stable and logical fixed point of what a woman is.
Okay, Stolsky, then let's put that in practice right now, okay? A woman is someone who identifies as a woman. What's a woman? A woman is someone who identifies as a woman. What's a woman? A
Yeah,
woman is someone who
so
identifies as a woman.
so
Great. Wow,
I can
that
actually.
works
Do we
really
want to
well.
get into like the actual formal logic?
I didn't say identify either. Like that's that to me identify like I could identify with like a lamp. No, it is the first person subjective experience because there is biology backing this. There's no biology backing identifying
Experience
with a lamp.
as a woman,
Okay,
right?
let's put that in practice now too then. Your definition. Okay, a woman is somebody with a subjective first person experience of a woman. Okay, what's a woman? A woman is somebody with a first person subjective like
Yeah, so
Okay,
you're actually like
define left. We've already gone through this.
yeah. So
You're
here's
not
the
telling us
problem
what it
too.
is.
So here's the problem too is that like we can actually use like that there are actually deductive proofs that you could actually theoretically use like a Fitch style
Use 'em.
natural deduction proof system. Yeah,
Stowe, can you?
I can go into a society and I can look at the subcultural aspects of an individual and ask them questions. I can survey them and gain empirical insight on this, Cav. Absolutely, from a psychological point, I can ask individuals how they feel in certain situations and back this up.
All that would do all that would do is
Confirm the subcultural aspects.
finish?
Exactly.
Yeah, no, it's just gonna all that's gonna do is show that women in one society are not the same as women in a different society, right? But you're not actually
Yep.
you would actually
That's
be
the
under
that's
that
the fucking point, dude.
that hold on, but the problem is you still haven't defined what a woman
So
is.
it's
because
not
you're-
stable.
Yeah, exactly. Like there's no stability there.
There's
it's
no
all-
so
it's
so
cultural
in
dependent.
psychology, I promise you, in sociology, it's dependent. Like I don't know what the fuck you lack in insight about sociology and psychology, but like unless you're like defining like traits, like I've told you, which are gene dependent, psycho and social factors are not stable. And neither is language, by the way.
Stowe, can you check Discord?
yeah, I can check Discord.
Yeah, I'm gonna give you the biological text referencing adult human female.
Post 2010.
What shit?
Why post? Hold on. Why post 2010?
Because that's being generous, honestly. Because if I'm writing a paper for my college, I can't use something that's past 5 years old. Generally speaking, that's being fucking generous. I don't know if you've ever written a paper for an institution that you have been a part of, but we can't use papers in the 400, 300 levels that are over 5 years old to write a paper. Especially
It wouldn't
in-
matter in this context anyway because
It would.
the definition is stable, so it really wouldn't matter.
It would.
Yeah,
absolutely would, because
you're
definition
just doing a
in-
semantic fix.
No,
It's
it's
just a
not.
semantic
It's
fix
not a
anyways.
semantic fix. And the reason why is if that were the case, then it would not be required to change definitions and field based on the actual descriptive factor. It's not just semantics,
Okay.
arguing
Let me
about
ask you this.
definitions. No, because we are changing our descriptions in the field.
Yeah, you recognize Schmeck's specific health risks, correct?
No, elaborate. I would love to hear this.
Oh, like you don't recognize that like each Schmeck has like their own like health risks associated with that Schmeck's?
No, I want to hear more about this topic from you specifically.
Like cancer risk, prostate cancer, like different kinds of cancers are going to be more prevalent in one sex than the other. Like cervical cancer is only going to happen in like females majority of the time.
That's sex. I didn't.
I know that's sex. Hold on, I'm not there to land the claim yet, but you agree that there's sex different health risks, right?
Obviously.
Okay, and obviously you would acknowledge that there's different health risks in the life stages of development. So like children have different kind of health risks compared to adults. Pretty obvious, right?
Yep.
Okay, so then like when referring, like you go to a doctor's office and you pick up a magazine that says like women's health, right? Talking about like, you know, adult human females health, you think? Do you think that would be what it's referencing?
Are you
Like,
are you saying that I should get my healthcare from a woman's magazine and not my doctor?
it's not a magazine, it's a medical pamphlet, like just like, you know, different things that like because you're a woman, right? They're referencing your sex, right? You never seen those in doctor's offices? Women's health?
No, I quite frankly haven't.
No? Do you think there would be like a reason to call it like women's health rather than female's health? Because like female wouldn't be like determining if
I
it's like
do
an
agree there's a
adult or
reason.
children. Yeah, but like if it just said female's health, right? Like it could be like a children's health or it could be like an adult's health,
Are
right?
you
But
literally
like we can
making
further.
the argument that we should
I'm just giving
view?
further.
No,
I'm just
no. I
giving
just want to
further
make
clarity
sure
to the
that
definition.
we're on the same page, that we should base our understanding on how magazines word things.
This
I
is
mean,
this is
if
medical.
that's the
Hold
argument
on.
you're making, then I just
It's not a
should
It doesn't
magazine.
have to
succeed
be a
at this
magazine,
fucking
right?
point.
It could be like a advert. It could be anything. It would
Yeah,
reference women's health.
well,
It wouldn't
most
say female's health, would it?
adverts don't use that terminology anymore because they're based on fucking science.
Really?
But
Okay.
magazines, really, I should just change my understanding of things because, god damn it,
I
I'm
wasn't
not.
referencing just any magazine. I'm
But
referencing
you
like
are.
again.
But you
Hold on.
you
This is
are. I've
hold
never
on.
seen these
Hold on.
magazines,
This
so
is
I'm
a
assuming
pamphlet.
that you're just like
It's not just like a
putting
magazine that you pick up at like some like
your
convenience store,
argument.
right?
No,
This
no,
is
no,
a
no.
doctor's office
Your
pamphlet.
fucking argument is that I should change my opinion of all these things, and it is an opinion, and I'm not gonna lie about that. Never have.
No.
But
All I'm saying, hold
in
on.
the
All I'm
aspect of
saying,
it, I should convert my views because a woman's magazine in a doctor's office might say something different.
I'm just saying there's a utility behind
You're
using
not
the word
tracking.
woman, right?
No, there's not.
You can't track.
Wow. I don't know how you
I
can deny
can't
this.
track. You're using an argument about a woman's health magazine in a doctor's office, and I can't track.
Well, yeah, like if a man, yeah, so if a male walks into the doctor's office, like are they gonna grab like the woman's pamphlet regarding health?
I think fucking people who are trans are
This is
have
crazy.
the
You're not
ability.
tracking.
who
You're actually not
can
tracking this.
track.
You're not tracking this at all. You're laughing. I think you're just projecting right now.
So far.
I'm not.
No,
Like a
you're
nervous-
looking like
like
a
a nervous
fool,
laugh.
Have. You look like you look like an absolute fucking fool right now. That's why she's laughing.
I like a nervous laugh. Hey, Laylis, do I like look like a fool right now?
No, I'm actually so confused why they're laughing.
I
Yeah.
mean, you
Not funny.
two may have a certain bond. I in fact let Lightless up, because of how the arguments were going, and I thought you might need some support.
What's crazy is like by denying
Yeah.
like adult human females, you're pretty much denying like historical
you
sex
may
oppression.
may not understand it. I'm so
How do you
sorry.
think they? How do you think they
okay,
track?
wait.
How do you think they
As a-
track
as a
historical sex
male,
oppression?
you really understand sex oppression so well. I truly believe as a male, you're like
Yeah,
the-
probably more than
the
most women.
fucking-
Yeah,
Why can't he? What?
yeah. Like if I spent all my
More than
time
most
studying
women.
historical oppressions, right, and somebody just like didn't, I mean, obviously I would know more than that other person.
Yeah, I'm sure you do.
Such a pivot to say, oh yeah, because you're a male, you're not going to know anything about it.
Like,
Like, what the
what?
fuck? Like, okay.
Not as much as people who have actually experienced it.
What historical oppression have you experienced from 100 years ago? Tell me. Go ahead.
I have
Yeah.
experienced oppression because I am female.
I'm talking about historical.
100
You just
years
proved my
ago?
fucking point right now. What
But
the fuck?
okay, for one, I wasn't entirely tracking the conversation because I was helping with other
You
things
look
with
into
other
it.
people. But when it comes to how women are oppressed, yes, people who are women are going, or people who are women and female are going to know more about that than people who are either cis or men. Trying to speak.
Okay.
Okay, I
Well,
think we've
that's
been on
crazy,
this for a
but
while. Can we move on?
yeah. Let's move
Okay.
on. Stolsky. I'm gonna go here, but I thought it was a good conversation with you guys,
Okay. Yep.
regardless of the tension.
All right.
Sure.
Well, thanks for coming.
You can drop me, brother. Yeah.
Dropped.
Lightless. So you were brought up to support Cav. What are your arguments? First off, are you 18 years old or I
Yeah, I'm
probably
18.
asked you.
I'm 18. Yeah, so a woman is just an adult human female.
Okay. Do you think that that's how that word is used?
In most contexts, yes.
Do you think that there's any way that this that the woman could have a evolving, changing meaning that might even be contradictory to what you think it that beyond just an adult human female?
Well, I'm going to tell you, by the way, as an adult human female who is also a woman, I definitely, like, if you, like, removed my vagina or, like, any other aspect about me, I definitely wouldn't take that my womanness dissipated in some sort of way. So how do you kind of react to that? So you think if, like, someone, like, cut off your penis, you would no longer...
No, I'd be a man because of like my developmental pathway.
Well, I didn't hear an answer to if you thought that this is just like the only definition for a woman.
Right, I said no. I said in most.
Okay.
I'm not even. Wait, can I say I'm not even appealing to like a descriptive definition that like refers to how it's used day to day. Like I don't know why you would use that definition.
Yeah, like I'm fine with like people saying like a woman is adult human female as long as we understand that like this is not the definition. Like we have multiple definitions and stuff like that.
I mean, if you can provide a better definition, that's fine.
Well, no, it's not even like a
better is subjective.
I don't have any reason to refuse or like change my definition.
Hey, by the way, I have a better use of this tool. It's just different.
Look, I have a better car. It's made out of paper mache. No.
Why do you have the definition? Like
I
that
mean,
we should all
I'm asking
adapt.
you to provide a better definition, and you.
Well, if you're not,
I don't know what a better means.
Wait, hold on. If you're not holding to this deep, idea that basically that trans women can't be women, then like congratulations, I guess. Like that's like your argument's not like completely flawed. But if you are like holding to trans women can't be women because of like it like being a definitional issue, then it is just like a logically fallacious argument to be making, because you're basically like making a prescription that's not justified.
What fallacy is it?
Yeah, it would be like an appeal to definition fallacy, because you're basically trying to prescribe that trans woman can't be a woman, but actually not giving any logical reasoning behind it and just simply appealing to the definition.
I mean, I'm asking you to provide a definition that would.
I don't have to. That's the fun part.
And you can't do that.
Yeah, I don't have to. That's the fun part. I can simply dismantle your argument by simply based off of the fact that it's basically trying to smuggle in this prescription that's not justified.
But I'm not appealing to a descriptive definition. I'm not saying that trans women aren't women because of how the word woman is used in today's society.
Yeah, but do you think that woman could, like, that the definition of woman... Do you think that that woman could include trans woman?
If there was some alternate culture where the definition of woman were to be different, I wouldn't hold to that definition. I'm not saying that the word woman means this because of what society says. I'm saying that it's the most like sound definition that we could give, right?
Yeah, so what would be like the problem about like saying that an adult...
That's not...
Oh, go ahead.
Well, I want to address the fact that that's not how language works. Like, you can say that, and that's fine, but language is ultimately like about many different things. Do you agree, Lightness?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so I can make the definition that a chair is actually a stuffed pillow that looks like a penguin, but like it's ultimately useless, right?
I'm gonna be right back. I gotta go do something.
Because the characteristics of that chair would that align to like a pillow? Would it? Like
when we talk about how it's
right. So when we give definitions, we have to distinguish a category and like exclude non-members, right? We have to like
Yeah,
define, and we have to understand what gives an item that membership,
but it wouldn't. I
right?
could
So
do
if we
both those.
look at like if
I wasn't finished when I did that. I could do that as well, and it wouldn't matter if it wasn't how that language is used. Correct?
I disagree.
So you could just make up
Again,
definitions as
I'm
long as
not
they
appealing
fit
to
your
like a
definition of
descriptive definition.
definitions.
I'm not saying I'm not saying that we should use that word because it's what society deems it to be. I'm not saying that.
So
Right,
you
like
just all
if the
definitions
definition
are
of a
in a
chair was to be like a pillow or like the characteristics of a pillow, I wouldn't like suddenly change my definition, right? Because
yeah,
society thinks that a
that's
chair looks
fine.
like a
So
pillow.
your argument is such that you define it this way, and that's just how you define it. Why should I accept that?
You don't have to accept it. I'm asking you for your definition
Okay.
of a woman. I'm pretty wait, earlier did you say that it was an inner sense
Yeah,
of
I just
self?
don't
Is
accept
that
it.
your definition?
Like that's it. That's the end of the
Wait, no,
conversation.
I'm asking you, like, was that your definition, like an inner sense of self?
I don't have to. I don't have to provide it. You've provided yours.
I'm just asking you a simple question. Like, I'm pretty sure
I
you
don't
said
I
that,
don't
but
I don't need
I
to.
wasn't there.
You provided yours. You're not moving on it. That's how you view it. I don't need to do anything else.
That's how an internal critique works. We only need to know how you view it.
That's fine.
Yeah, you view woman this way. And you're just defining it into existence. Therefore, I have no other conversation to be had. Yeah, Habibi, you need to provide motivation is essentially what I'm trying to tell Light.
That's why I'm trying to tell you. You rejected my definition. I'm
But
asking you
you're
for
not
motivation.
providing me
I'm
any
asking you why
motivation.
you're rejecting my definition. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, it's not. It's we've told you this.
You're
It's
saying you
not
reject it
fulfilling
because you feel
anything.
like it. You feel like it.
Yeah,
Like,
what's the
I'm confused.
motivation? What's his motivation? I'm confused. Yeah, can someone please tell me what his motivation was?
I'm confused. Like, I've tried to like ask you what your definition is, and you're refusing to provide it. Like,
I don't
I
need
just want to
to.
know.
I'm
Like, is
asking
this a
you for you.
debate? Like, I'm
I am
confused.
asking you for your motivation and why I should.
What do you mean?
Why should I
Like,
accept your fucking definition?
you don't have to. You like, why are you getting so personal?
Yeah, Habibi, you don't have to. Why are you getting personal is not a motivation. I don't think you understand that. I agree with your assessment that there needs to be motivation, but what is the motivation? That's what I'm asking.
I've already provided that. Like, so it excludes non-members, right? Such as males, it would exclude them in society to be women, right? So, and it defines a membership category.
How
It
is
defines
that?
like it defines what like it means to be a member of the category woman, right? To be a female, adult, and a human.
So how is that a motivation for me? I could
What do you want me to
literally
tell you? Like, what would you like? Give me an example of a motivation.
Yeah, I would like you to like
Like it makes me feel good when I say it. Is that a motivation? Like, what motivation would you want
No.
me to say? Like, what are you looking for when you ask that question?
Yeah, I'm asking for like why should I be convinced that this accurately represents the definition?
I've already told you that.
Yeah, excluding and non-exclusion does not mean it accurately represents.
Okay, give me an example.
I define a pretzel like any aspect of like definition should accurately define something, should it not?
Give me an example, yeah. So when defining a pretzel, what would be your motivation behind your definition?
Yeah, an accurate representation of what a pretzel is.
That's not answering the question. That's just repeating the word pretzel.
No, I'm not giving you a definition
So
for.
give me a motivation, right,
Yeah,
behind
a
the definition
wheat-based
of the word
object that is
pretzel.
toasted. That like I've never thought about the definition of a pretzel, but when I
Give
say
me a
motivation,
motivation behind that definition.
yeah,
That's what you're asking me for, right? So give
Yep.
me an example of how you would explain that motivation.
Yeah, Dustin, I agree. Yeah,
I'm not even a fool, bro. So okay.
but you are.
How?
How you're like defining things? Like I don't know. I'm not like and it's funny because I can have these conversations, but
Yeah,
now I
this is
feel
really
like
funny. Yeah, so give me the motivation behind your definition of the word pretzel. Since you're asking me for my motivation
yeah,
behind like
thank
the
you,
adult
Soski,
human
because
female
like
definition.
yeah, well, the question would be, do you think that like your experience of the pretzel is accurate? Like how
I'm
it
asking
actually,
you for your motivation, right? Because when
yeah,
I'm defining the word adult human
yeah,
female, right, you're saying what is your
no,
motivation
but
behind that?
how
I'm
I'm
asking
literally
you to
just
explain and give an
describing
example of
I'm
that motivation,
describing what the
and you
fuck a
can't do it,
pretzel
right?
is.
You can't do it.
No, I'm
You're just
not.
defining the
I'm
word
fucking
pretzel.
describing what it
Give me
is.
the motivation behind that definition, right? 'Cause that's what you're
I
asking me
fucking
for.
am.
Go ahead.
I am no, yeah. Like absolutely I am describing what it is to a degree in which the experience to be had with a pretzel. Like I'm describing you how it's developed. Like I'm adding to this definition. You're just saying
Okay, so the motivation behind defining pretzel that way is because it accurately represents the existence of a pretzel.
yeah, and you're not
Right.
accurately
So
representing.
there's no real
I
motivation
am not
behind that,
fucking.
right? Is there?
No, there is.
Because within your motivation, you've just embedded your definition again, right?
How am I like embedding my definition?
Because you're just saying that the motivation is that that's the accurate experience of a pretzel. I could say that about what a woman is, right?
Actually, yeah, no, you're actually correct. I don't know what you're laughing. I don't know. I don't claim to be a Philbro in any sense. Stowski, take it away. I'm just trying to hold conversation.
Hi, sorry. Yeah, I had to put away. Oh, 1 second. Yeah, I had to put away groceries. That showed up. So, yeah. So like, if you want us to accept this definition, that's like you can use your definition as your own. But like, we have no reason to like use this as like a prescriptive definition. But the fun part is like I think I actually could say that I actually have a reason why you should like accept our definition. That's like I can actually prescribe a definition at that point.
So go ahead.
Yeah. So what ends up happening is that basically you'll run into this problem about like all individuals having the rights to freedom and well-being, and this being like a dialectical necessity. And because of that, so essentially this is like the grounding of this is that in order to allow transgender individuals, like transgender individuals have or I guess just people have the freedom to identify as they are. I would say that that's just a basic right, and that if you were to reject this, what ends up happening is you have to essentially devalue your own goals because of essentially like a dialectical necessity. And I can go on that if you like.
I'm sorry, like you
yeah,
like a whole of
yeah. So basically, so I'll just start from ground bottom. We take actions to achieve goals, and because of that, we necessarily care about what we need in order to take these or work towards like achieving our goal. Do you agree?
I guess.
Yeah. So because these things are necessary to achieve your goal, you ought to have them. And these things that are necessary are going to be freedom, like the ability to make choices non-coerced, and well-being, like the physical well-being, basic food, shelter, and that kind of stuff. and others not ought not interfere with what you ought to have, essentially. Like that is like something that's grounded in basic philosophy, that like if you have an ought, others ought not interfere with it. And because of this,
So yeah, so
but
so trans women can identify as women. That doesn't make them women. I'm sorry. Like yeah, they might have the right to identify within that category. Would that actually like define their existence? Would that actually make them within that category? No, it wouldn't, right?
well,
So
actually,
they can identify themselves to be within that category, but self-identification isn't valid, right? So if we're talking about what they actually are, they wouldn't be women. It's fine. They can go like they
well, I
can
would
go
reject
out. They can
that.
say the woman. That's fine. Sure, go
Yeah,
ahead.
so you're trying to, like I said, that like because I've said this, or the only other thing that I have to add to like this dialectical necessity is that in order to be like logically consistent, you have to like to be logically consistent, you basically must give everybody the right to freedom and well-being. And this like apply like essentially you basically have to like this builds a framework that you basically have to act in accord with the generic rights of everybody else as well as yourself. And what this leads to is that if you're going to try to say that somebody like you cannot say that this individual should not be a woman, because this is like a direct infringement upon their freedom.
Right, so I'm not saying they can't recognize themselves as women. But the noun, sorry, the verb identify just means to recognize, name, or establish what something is, right? So unless they can't like substantiate why they are said thing, then why should society recognize them as being a woman?
Yeah, so
Right, so they can refer to themselves as a woman. No one is taking away their freedom, their autonomy to refer to themselves as what they want, right? But when we think about what they actually are, and when we're trying to define like a category, and when we're trying to distinguish like non-members, they wouldn't fall into that category, and that's fine. That doesn't mean they can't say they're women. They're not women, sorry.
yeah, so this kind of comes down to like some things about definitions of like definitions can change over time, and they're based off of how like essentially like society uses them. So people are calling trans woman, which they are. We can actually just create definitions that are inclusive of transgender women, like a woman is a cisgender adult human female or a transgender adult human male. And because of that, this is actually like a more semantically useful definition of the word.
That would literally just create a definitional loop.
Well, I have
yeah. So what's wrong with saying that a adult human female is a cisgender adult human?
That would create. Right. So that would literally just like violate a law like called the well-foundedness law. So it would create like a loop, right? So if we try and define what cisgender women are, it would literally include the word woman within that definition. If we try and define what a trans woman is, it would include the definition of woman within itself, right? So if
no,
wait,
hold on.
Wait, sorry. Wait.
No, I'm gonna mute you here because this is not what the definition I gave you. I didn't give you a definition that said woman in it.
You said, did you not say woman could be cisgender plus trans woman?
Yeah,
Did you not say that?
Yeah, so I said a woman is, here's the definition, a cisgender adult human female, and then like a secondary definition is a woman is a transgender adult human male. Nowhere in there did I say that a woman is a woman. There's no circularity
You did
in there.
say trans woman. You did say trans woman.
Oh, sorry, then, so a transgender adult human male would be, yeah, woman. Sorry, if I said trans woman, that's my fault.
Right, so now the term or the noun woman would literally just be a label for two other categories. So it would serve like no usefulness in society. It would become redundant because if you was to define what a trans adult male is, you'd have to include the word woman within that. Unless they don't have any independent criterion to be a trans adult human.
Well, yeah, so being transgender, I think, is actually something that's like innate to somebody to some extent. Like, it's not like they're born that way, but it is something that is like separable from an individual. And I'm still not sure what like the issue with the definition is.
Sure. So I guess the issue that I could say is that the noun woman would literally just be a label, right? to describe individuals within those two categories.
How
right?
is how is a cisgender adult, or how is just an adult human female not a label? How does woman not
Right,
become a
it is,
label
but
at
then
that
I'm
point?
saying the
Oh,
overarching definition of woman would become a label, right? Which is
yes.
fine.
Well, that's what definitions are. They're descriptive. They describe things,
Right. So
and that's
right.
what words are used for. They're used for as like
Not all
category
of them.
labels.
Not all of them. Not all of them.
So
But
like,
fine. Right. Can I just ask you this? How would you define trans? Because within your definition you had trans identified male, right? Adult male, sorry.
not identified, just transgender.
Sorry.
I don't think transgender is an identity. It is something I think that you are or you are not. And it can change over time, but these are not like something that you choose to do. I would say it that way. So this is like a it's when somebody has an incongruence between the sex that they're assigned at birth and what we typically associate, or we would typically expect them to be in terms of a gender. So like we typically expect males to identify as boys or mans, or to be boys or mans, and within society present that way. And with females, we would expect them to be women or girls.
Right. So it's literally just a gender incongruence.
Well, no, well, it's incongruence between your sex and gender.
Okay. And you would define gender just being like the categories within society, like man, boy, girl.
Yeah, sort of. Yeah, something like that. It's like you can get into like the ideas of what we're talking about. Like usually we're talking about like the ways that like society see like or like define things among the like spectrums of masculinity and femininity. But that's like it's like more of a revisionist definition.
Yeah, I would just hold that like gender is just like a masculinity and femininity.
Yeah. But yeah, so like this, I like this definition a lot because of the fact that like I don't get into these issues of like self-referral, if you know what I mean. And like the reason why, and I think it's more semantically useful because it includes transgender individuals, which we now know that are like we have no reason to pathologize being trans. There's nothing wrong with being trans.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong. I guess the only problem that I could see is how would you operationalize like the gender incongruence? Right. So how could we prevent like real males, right, not trans adult males, being included in your definition of the
I
word
don't know what a
woman?
real male is.
Sorry, not real male, just males, like not trans adult males. Like how would you avoid them being?
You mean like cisgender males, essentially?
We have language for that.
Yeah, so what I'm saying is that like the gender incongruence between your sex and gender is like non-operationalized, right? So how would you operationalize that?
Yeah, so that's like I almost would say that's like it's into like politics of like how we we understand that we should try to, for these categories to make sense, we should try to exclude like cisgender men from transgender women like within the category. But that's like more of like a political thing of like how we go about actually achieving this. And
I mean, I guess that's what I'm saying. But I'm focusing more on like the prefix trans. Like that's what I'm trying to focus on. Because trans isn't really operationalizable. In the sense that it's like an innate sense of self, right? So how are we going to measure that? How
May I ask you why this is a problem?
I just said.
Like like from a practicality aspect. Like like besides just like how we describe language, like why do you see this as a problem?
I mean, right, so I asked him to define trans and he said like a gender.
I'm not on the same.
Could I just carry on talking to the host?
I'm here. I'm asking you a question.
That's fine that you're here. Yeah, so host, how would we really measure this gender?
Hey, I'm also a mod. Like I'm asking you like a legitimate question on why this is important.
Yeah, so we actually do understand that like when people are transgender,
because I'm saying
they are persistent, insistent, and consistent about this. Like we understand this. This is like really well documented at this point. That people are going to be persistent, insistent, and consistent about this. And I also really don't see any reason to question individuals like who want to be if it is like within this, it is a desire at that point to be classified as transgender. When this group just ostracizes them, like I don't think any sane individual is going to like purposely ostracize themselves.
I also don't think that like this is like useful when like we describe things in like a normal basis. It's fine to like have things outside of this. Like why are you like being so adamant on this type of like factor? Like why is it that you're so like black and white concrete? Like I'm asking you genuinely.
I'm not. I'm exploring his definition, right? I'm just trying to tap into, like, he said trans adult male, right? So I'm just trying to look
Transgender.
into what trans means.
Yeah.
Okay, okay, whatever. Right.
Yeah, so
But
it's
like
like
what like practical use does this have?
I'm saying that it would actually have less practical uses to use this definition if we can't
No, it
operationalize
doesn't,
what.
because like
You're just
you can.
interrupting me. If we
Yeah,
can't operationalize what transgender means, right, or what a transgender adult male is, right, then I would say it would cause more confusion, and it would also include some cisgender males or cisgender men within your definition of woman. So I'm just trying to explore like what it means to be transgender.
But
yeah,
yeah, we have the language for this already, and that's what I'm not understanding, is that you're sitting here saying we don't have language for it, and we do. Like it's not
I just asked how we would differentiate like transgenderness and non-transgenderness.
That's not a thing. Transgenderness is not a thing.
Okay, well, being transgender. Sorry.
Yeah, like how do we tell the difference between who's straight and gay?
We can't.
Yeah.
I guess we could use like measurements of sexual arousal.
I mean, we have words for these things, by the way.
That is like operationalizable though, sexuality. So I would, whereas like the term gender incongruence or gender dysphoria, or having that incongruence, I would argue that is less operationalizable because it relies on like an innate sense of self.
Well, I would say that
society
homosexuality
goes
and heterosexuality is like based off an innate sense of self. Like it is
Right,
part of who
but
you are. Like, are we gonna just start telling people that their
it's
favorite colors are
expressed
not their
through
favorite
sexual
colors?
arousal, right? It's expressed through sexual arousal.
Yeah,
I mean, we
but like,
can't verify if it's their favorite color or not.
but how do
what
you?
side are you on that sexual
How are we going
arousal?
How are we going to verify if it's their favorite color or not? That's what I'm trying to get.
We don't. We
That's
don't.
what I'm
We don't
saying, right?
verify.
You're arguing your definition has more practical usability within society. I'm arguing that it doesn't because it could actually include men or cisgender men.
But that's not the point. Like I
You're
don't
saying it has more pragmatic usage, right? That's what you're saying.
So
right?
yeah, if
And
like
my
if the
contention with
pragmatic
that is
use,
that the term
the
transgender isn't
pragmatic use of
operationalizable,
someone
right?
saying that
How
I
can
like
you falsify
shellfish,
if someone is trans or not?
you don't have to. Like if
You're
I
saying your
I
definition
like-
is
if
more
I-
pragmatic, so you have to be able to identify who is trans and not.
I like shellfish. Some things don't need to have this aspect within them. Like that's what you're not understanding. I like shellfish. Like
You're not tracking. You're not tracking because your argument is that this definition, right, is more pragmatic.
no, I'm
It's
Well,
more
tracking.
usable within society.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to get
hold
at-
on. Hold on. Your definition, you would agree, just does not account for transgender women, correct?
Right.
Yeah. So that's like 1% of the population right there. That's just at least 1%. That's just completely excluded. And so like when you look at that, that's like, compared to the individuals who would be like falsifying being trans, which is going to be like far less than 1% of the population. Like so like on that strict sense alone, we're accounting for more people are going to be classified strictly within their boxes that you would like.
That's not my only
Not only
argument.
this,
My
like,
only wait
no,
one
no,
second.
no. When we say red, it does not matter. Like a lot of definitions carry first person subjective experience. Like this is just
I don't
fucking
care.
wild to me.
I don't care about that. Yeah, so I'm not saying that the problem with your definition is that trans men or trans adult males, right, would not be included within your definition on the basis that we can't falsify them being trans. I'm saying that additional to that, adult males, right, could also be included in your definition if we do not define what trans means in itself.
Well,
If you're saying that
yeah.
trans relies on an innate sense of self, right, that is not operationalizable within society.
So being
I'm asking,
transgender
how
is
can
like
we
just
measure that?
being transgender is just an umbrella term used to basically describe people whose gender or gender identity or expression differs from the sex that they are assigned at birth. That's all being transgender is. It can include it is an umbrella term, and it includes like non-binary individuals who like sometimes would like they would at least say that they are outside of what like a typical man or woman would be within like a revisionist understanding of man and woman.
Describe this to me on the
It just
divider.
relies on
Can someone
typicality.
describe this, how this fits with like seeing colors as colors? Because yes, there are certain aspects where like red is definitely red, but there are like lines that we divide on like what red means. I'm confused on that aspect. And because like it is magenta red, is that an arbitrary line that we draw? And what does red mean?
And it's not like we see that like there's no evidence right now that shows that, you know, cisgender individuals are like abusing, like they're just like basically pretending to be trans in order to do bad things. Like that would be like
I'm
a
not
reason why
saying
we'd
it's
like want to have
intentional.
like
I'm just saying the boundaries around your trans category, right, are not very clear, right? They're
Well,
not
neither is fucking
operationalizable within
redness,
society.
dude. And that's what I
Yeah.
try to bring up to you.
It's almost like, hold on,
So
it's
the boundaries
almost
around what is red
it's
is scientifically
almost
proven,
it's
right?
It's
almost
So what
not,
colors are
though. It's an
reflected on the fabric?
arbitrary
Yes,
fucking
it is.
line. No, they're
Right,
not.
so
They're
whatever,
arbitrary lines.
whatever radiation, okay, emitted like on the EM
They're
spectrum
not
is what is red,
radiation, by the
okay?
way. They're not
It is.
radiation.
It's a form of radiation, okay?
it is electromagnetic
It's
radiation.
a type
That's
of
what light
wave.
is. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Like they're spectrums, and we draw the line.
Right. So exactly. So oh my gosh. So we have
Yeah,
a drawing
gender
point,
is
right? For what
also a
is red and what
spectrum.
isn't.
Yeah, we have a gender spectrum. We can draw a line if we really want to.
What I'm asking you to do is operationalize like what it means to be trans, and you can't do that.
I don't know what
You're
you mean by
struggling right now.
operationalize.
Like, how do we measure trans? Like, if someone is trans or not? I'm
Uh,
saying that it relies on an sense of self, which you can't observe.
okay, that's problematic. Like you could just ask people what they are.
That is problematic, right? Because you're arguing that your definition has more usability and it's more pragmatic within society.
Yeah,
And
so
I'm
but
arguing
wait,
that
hold
it's
on.
actually more wait one sec. I'm arguing that it's actually more problematic to like misidentify individuals as being trans and thus falling within the category of being a woman. Then
Yeah,
it is
so
to like account for the 1% of individuals that are actually trans women.
you know, actually, there's another way I can go about cutting this, like skinning this cat. It is simply going to cause transgender individuals harm if we do not affirm them. It's going to lead to worse adverse life outcomes, and that's going to be like that just contradicts with like, the dialectical necessity of all individuals having the right to well-being. Therefore, we must include a definition, or we ought
Not
to use a
necessarily.
definition that includes transgender individuals.
Right, so you just have to argue like why that has more like moral
Yeah, it's dialectically necessary.
I guess like
because
right,
if
so
you want to
you'd have to argue why that matters more than like misidentifying individuals, which I feel like you can't really do.
well, I mean, misidentifying individuals, we have I have no more reasons to believe that it causes harm or a infraction of individuals' freedom. If you want to say that like misidentifying is problem,
I'm just
then
saying I'm saying it negates like the pragmatic usage of the term woman. That's what I'm saying.
I would hold morals over
Within your
pragmatic
definition.
reasons.
Right, but then earlier you said it would be more usable. So now you're using morals, right?
Yeah. So yeah, I am just like
So
shifting
you're,
to
so you're
like say,
changing why you're bleeding for your definition. Because earlier it was about like what's more pragmatic, and now it's about
well,
morals.
I would hold that it is
Okay.
still more pragmatic, but I don't think that I'm going to get anywhere with you on this.
That's fine.
Yeah,
Well,
I'm changing.
I'm not really gonna debate like if it's more moral to use the term. I don't really
Oh
care.
yeah, because that just kind of demolishes the point, is it? Doesn't it?
Not necessarily. I just think morals are subjective, and I'm not gonna argue with you.
Oh,
If you
but I
feel like
actually
that,
just grounded you.
if you
I
feel like
just
it's
gave
it's
you
good to
objective
account for the
morals.
1%.
I
Objective
grounded you.
morals. So
I just gave you objective morals.
objective
That's the fun
morality.
part.
Did you just say objective morals?
Yeah, I did, because this is a dialectical necessity. This is what you
Oh my
ought to
God.
do. If you care about anything, you ought to give
You
individuals.
think? Wait, real quick. You think morals are objective?
In this sense, it is objective.
You think morals are objective?
Yeah. The idea that we
Say
ought to
that
have the
again.
right to freedom and well-being is objective, because
Let
if
me
you were to
just-
go
let me
against
just
that,
clip this real quick.
yeah, this is like. Have you
So-
never heard of
so
like
you think
philosophers
mo-
like
you
Alan
think
Kwerth?
morals are objective? Right?
Yeah.
I
You think morals are
actually,
objective?
this is a subject I can argue, and pretty well, in philosophy.
I'm not gonna argue like moral.
Yeah,
morals with you.
yeah. I mean, I think
I'm
it's
not
just
gonna
objective.
go down like.
Well, the problem is that you're saying a preference, and we're saying that we have a grounding.
Yeah. So in this
How are
case,
morals objective?
yeah, because if you so since we all are purposeful agents, we have like a goal orientated, like we do things, to try to achieve our goals, and like working towards our goals is like what we ought to do. If you care about literally anything, it is what you care about. Like that is like just by definition. And because of that, you have to work within a framework that gives you your ability to work towards your goal. And so basically, if you basically need this framework has to have freedom and well-being in it, because otherwise you're not able to ever work towards your goal. And so if you ought to work towards your goal, you ought to have a framework that allows you to work towards your goal, and therefore we ought to have freedom and well-being for all individuals.
Right. Is that goal mind independent?
Yeah. So that is literally any goal.
So
Well,
that
you-
goal is mind independent.
You wouldn't even need it. for
Wait, real
object-
quick, host.
I'm-
Is
I'm-
that goal?
Yeah.
It
So it
wouldn't-
doesn't matter
real
what
quick,
you
is-
want to work towards.
No,
It does
but
not
is
matter.
that goal
Lightness, it
mind
doesn't matter
independent? Yes or no?
because
Yes or
is
no?
it truth tracking?
Is that goal mind
Lightness,
independent?
shut
Yes or
the
no?
fuck up, dude. I am also part of this conversation. I know you want to dismiss me as a person. I've literally accepted my flaws
You
in
can
this
answer.
conversation.
That's fine. Yes or no? Is that goal mind independent? That's
Yeah,
what
but that
I'm
doesn't mean that the whole argument
you
isn't
can-
objective.
It wouldn't.
I'm not
Yeah.
saying that. I'm just asking you to answer.
Oh,
the
okay.
question. Like,
Yeah. So our
is
goals
that-
are like
you know
minded.
what a constructivist is. Like that's fine, but mind independentness does not necessitate whether something is truth tracking. And that's fine in morals. Can we track the truth? We can disagree with the subjective aspects of what we think good and bad are. That's fine. But can this track truth? And if the answer is yes, then it is objective.
Again, I'm just asking, is that goal like mind independent?
I would
Is that-
argue. I would argue.
With my
yes.
point, the host brought down like this whole like
I
action.
would personally argue yes, and I could probably give you examples and hypotheticals in which are different because I'm a moral realist.
I mean, I'm not really adept in like moral philosophy, but go ahead.
You want me to give you a hypothetical where pain can occur but minds don't?
Sure.
Yeah, can you imagine a thing where pain can occur, and what do you call pain harm?
Would I call it harm?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so we can imagine a world without minds, in which you would be a moral realist as well. That it doesn't matter whether a mind exists; it matters where harm is occurring.
Okay.
So therefore, you also believe in objective morals, and we're giving a case for such.
How? I'm sorry. I don't get it. Maybe I'm not tracking. I don't know.
You asked if it was mind independent, and you called, and I asked you specifically whether harm was occurring, and then I asked you specifically, is pain harm? So therefore, there can be minds that experience pain, and there can also be non-minds that experience pain. So you would agree.
But then how would you define morals though? That's what I don't understand. I don't get how this would like be a case of moral objectivism.
Yeah, so morals are like what you ought to do.
Right.
Yeah, but by basically what this is doing is it's saying like you, because of the fact that like by definition you ought to work towards your goals. If you ought to work towards anything, it is you ought to work towards achieving your goals. Then we can build upon what is needed for that, and you can build a framework where freedom and well-being are like you ought to respect these, because otherwise you just don't have any ability to work towards your goals.
Right, but I'm arguing that no one is ought to like respect them. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, so
And in
you,
the case in the case of like the pain and the harm, I'm not saying there's anything we ought to do in that situation.
You think we ought harm?
well, so this would
I'm
be
not.
you need your freedom and well-being, and well-being is like if you're not harmed. Like this is like you ought not harm individuals because you
There's
can't.
conjunction.
Yeah, like by saying that you care about your goals, you're like necessarily claiming that others ought not harm you, so that you can work towards your goals. And since we're being logically
Legitimately,
consistent,
I mean, I
or
can't.
consistent,
I mean, I
we ought
can't-
not,
I mean, I
fuck with
can't
other
prove.
people.
I can't prove why. Obviously, as a society, we ought not to do harm, right? But I can't prove that under like morals. Like as I said, like I didn't want to go down this rabbit hole of morals, right? I wanted to stick on topic. So
Well, yeah, but this is like just proving like why you ought to use our definition.
Yeah. Like legitimately
Not
simple.
really.
Like,
You
this
still
is-
have
And
to,
if
like,
you
you
just
still
agree
have
that
to
we
hold-
ought not harm people,
Wait, real quick, you still have to hold like why you're like the moral I guess practicality out of using your definition is exceeds misidentifying individual. Like
yeah,
have
you ought not harm people.
Right.
yeah,
You wanna, like,
I'm not
assign
telling
them,
you
like,
what
a
like
value?
I'm not telling you what
Like,
is the case. I'm telling you what you should do.
why is this like why is what you ought to do, why is that valued more than misidentifying individuals?
Yeah,
Right,
because
do you want to like assign it like a value like a 5 points and then like I assign it like 10 points? Like you
But-
can't really prove that, right?
but like
You can't
I already
prove
told
one.
you that like
You can't
we both
The-
fall into this problem of like misidentifying individuals. So like this is a symmetry breaker.
How?
Yeah, because
How do
I
fall
think that
into-
under
how
your
do- How does
definition,
my definition fall into the problem?
yeah. So I you fall into this problem because you don't just include transgender individuals at all. You're misidentifying them. I would think that you're misidentifying them.
How is that misidentifying? You'd have to prove why they're trans women though, and that it creates like this circular.
Well, yeah,
well,
but
like
what I'm
I
saying.
this
can
is
I can definitely
It's only misidentification.
No,
if you
we can
prove why
produce-
they're women. and
we
you
can
can't prove that
absolutely produce
independent
data.
of this argument.
We can absolutely produce data where misrepresenting individuals turns into harm. Like that's not a hard ask.
I'm not arguing that.
But the fact is that you do agree that it's harm. I don't care what you're arguing. It is harm. And you've already agreed.
He said my definition, right, would have like misidentifying individuals.
Yep.
I want him to prove that because my definition doesn't rely on perception either.
Yeah,
So, can you
since
prove that?
since we should use since transgender individuals should be women, we should actually like I've given you that they should be.
Can you prove?
and
Can you prove how my definition misidentifies individuals?
Yeah, so we should identify like my definition, and with the morals, we should treat trans women as
You
women.
said my definition, right? You said both of our definitions prove sorry, like
Yeah, but I'm telling
would
you that
identify
trans women
individuals.
should be women, and therefore you're going against
not
like what this
answering my
should
question.
be done.
You said both
Um,
of our definitions would misidentify individuals. I'm asking you to like prove how my definition would.
Wait,
It's an ought.
yeah.
Bridge the fucking gap, lateness.
I think you can actually justify a Oh, nope, never mind.
Because we can't, you're going to define things differently than we do, and we're not going to get anywhere. We're going to use
Oh, wait.
gap. We have a gap.
We're both just being subjective when we say that we're misidentifying individuals. That's what this is. We're just both having like our own subjective definition.
Can you prove how my definition would misidentify individuals?
I can't prove it because your definition is subjective.
Right.
We're merely saying
I can prove how your definition would. Wait, real quick.
Well, no, you can't because my definition is subjective.
Oh my gosh.
My definition is subjective as well, so you can't prove it.
Right, your definition. Oh my gosh. You're not listening. Your definition, right, encompasses the word trans, okay, or transgender, right, which we both established is mind dependent, right? So we can't operationalize that, right, in society.
Yeah, so you can't objectively prove me wrong either.
Yeah.
Therefore, we can't strictly say that someone is transgender or they're not, right?
Well,
or someone who's not transgender is not transgender. We can't prove that. So we would actually fall into cases where we would misidentify people.
Yeah, we can't tell if somebody's cisgender. Hold on. This is problematic for you because your definition inherently includes the word cisgender. It's just assuming it from the beginning.
It doesn't.
Yeah, it does because it might not be explicitly said, but it is implied based off the fact that you are talking about a adult human female that is a woman, and we don't actually we have no way of being able to tell if somebody's cisgender or transgender.
Right, so you're saying it's implied. So where is the term cis implied in my definition?
Yeah, it is because... why do I keep getting a visibility restriction? Why?
Male is on the same side as this. Like, if you're talking about males and you associate with men...
Wait, where is the term cis implied in my definition?
Yeah, it's simply because you're saying that a woman is a female. It's implying that cis is what you're talking about. Because you're clearly not talking about transgender individuals, right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, so you are inherently talking about cisgender individuals. This means that this is implied already.
Define cis.
Yeah, to be on the same side of.
Right, so how is my definition implying cis?
Because
my definition is simply adult human female.
Because you're not referring to anything else besides males who are men. Yeah, I don't know how else to tell you this.
You just gave me the definition.
If I define a car as a vehicle with 4 wheels, I'm implying that I'm also talking about trucks because trucks also have 4 wheels, right?
Like
this is included in here. It might not be explicitly said, but it's implicitly because they fall within this category.
You know, I disagree. I want you to go ahead and like prove how that would misidentify.
Yeah. Well, let me talk about someone who said that. Like, I'll give you.
Wait, no, because the host said I would misidentify individuals if my definition implies cis, which I disagree that it does, but I'll grant you that it does imply cis. How would that be misidentified?
Here, something maybe you understand as a male, because I'm going to call you that because that seems to be how you wish. Is
That's
that?
Fine.
Yeah, I had someone.
Tell me whatever. I don't care.
Tell me that that females were just smarter than males, and I brought up the fact that would include that white women are smarter than black women because it was included in that group. That's the type of thing that
what do you mean?
You're including it in the group is what I'm trying to tell you.
Go ahead,
well,
Summer.
A white woman
Summer,
and
go
black
ahead.
women.
Summer, I'm sorry. You've been raising your hand. Summer, go ahead.
So Lightless. Let's start from the very beginning here. Are transgender women a category of women or men?
Men.
One more time?
Men.
Oh, do you have some sort of supporting evidence from a medical or scientific institution that agrees with you?
I can't be bothered to debate you right now. Host, I just want you to
folded like a chair.
Yeah,
I'm fast.
I was going to leave. I was gonna leave anyway, but I just
Runner.
Okay, sure.
Track star.
That's fine.
That was the
It's
easiest
okay.
win for me. Damn.
That was the fastest.
Win summer. Right. So prove how I'd be misidentifying individuals, even if the term cis would be implied within my definition.
Yeah. So you
Watch and Seal stay here for another 20 minutes, despite the fact that he said he was leaving.
Yeah. So you're gonna
That's
be
what
calling
I was gonna
transgender.
read.
You're gonna be calling transgender men women when they're not cisgender
I
women.
already explained this to them on how when we talk about groups, we have to be specific. And Lightness, why aren't you holding that specific? Like you don't.
It also just is
You
like
don't-
some semantic confusion. 'cause, like,
I'm not saying that I'm not holding that. I literally said I grant. Yeah, I'm a runner. I really, the way I really don't care. Yeah, but I'm granting you that the cis is implied, right? Even though I disagree that it is. I'm granting you that cis is implied. How would I be misidentifying individuals under my definition?
Is Cisalpine Gaul a part of Gaul?
Is what? Sorry.
Is Cisalpine Gaul a part of Gaul? And Transalpine Gaul a part of Gaul?
I really don't get what you're saying. Sorry.
Yeah.
I'm running from science. Oh my god.
No, you're not even running from science.
I love writing.
You're running from the argument that you had about definitions. You're running from your own fucking argument on how that it is.
I'm not
implied.
talking to you. I'm talking to Summer.
Oh yeah, I don't give a shit.
So
Okay.
Gaul is a part of the world. It's in France. There's Cisalpine Gaul and Transalpine Gaul, and it's talking about if it's on this side or that side of Gaul or the Alpines. And so both of them are part of Gaul as we call them. So that means that trans necessarily can't mean not. So because Transalpine Gaul is a part of Gaul, and so is Cisalpine Gaul. So both of the so cis and trans are both being used to describe subcategories of this topic. Therefore, it makes no sense if you're going to try to say that transgender,
right?
Yeah.
Shut the fuck up, Lightness. And that's me being rude because you were rude to me. So shut the fuck up.
Okay.
I don't know. I haven't
Does that make you feel better that you were rude to me? Like.
Oh yeah, eat a dick. I don't know.
Congrats.
Yeah.
He was rude to me. Okay, that's congrats.
Eat spotted dick.
Right, so
Yeah,
now,
it
I don't
is.
hold.
No, you were
I
talking,
don't hold
so I'm
that
just gonna
cis
keep
woman would be a
talking because
subcategory of become
I
woman.
actually think that I have the better thing to say. No, keep going.
That's fine. Yeah, so I don't hold
I
that
don't
cis
also.
woman.
I have a lot of.
Is Astrid here? Because I thought that Astrid. No.
Like you treating me disrespectfully. I hope it feels good back. I really do.
Okay. Does that make you feel good? Or like?
Oh no, absolutely not.
Okay.
So Lightless, you don't like the energy that
Right.
you receive that you give?
I don't care. I really don't care.
I don't
Like,
believe
the one
you.
that's-
You can
I
be
don't
rude to
fucking
me.
believe you.
Go ahead and be rude to me. That's fine. You can be rude. I don't care. Right, so I'm not saying that cis woman is a subcategory of the term woman.
See,
I'm
like I
saying
said,
that
he's going to
cis
be
is
here for
implied
another
in
20,
every
25 minutes, despite the fact that
Yeah,
I tried
he was
initiating the
leaving.
conversation.
Yeah, I'm not gonna go down a I
Wait,
said
wait,
I
hold
was
on.
Summer, he said he was gonna leave.
You know,
Wait.
I'll leave. That's fine.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.
I suck at philosophical arguments. I admitted it though. I fucking sat there after a period of time and I go, yeah, this isn't sufficient. They couldn't do that.
Hey, appeal approved. It's like the third time I've gotten appeal approved for it being restricted live for me not moving around enough. Fuck TikTok.
I sat there and admitted I was waiting for Stosky to come back to have this argument. They couldn't admit that. Like, I sat there and, like, I respect the degree of admittance. I said, like, I don't actually know what motivation means. Like, sat there and did that type of thing. Was not willing. They were not willing. It's okay to not know shit. Like, are you some shit that you think you might know? But god damn it, at least admit it. And moral arguments are something I take extreme interest in.
Yeah, I don't understand why it feels like I feel bad when people say thank you for supporting trans light. I'm like, isn't this like what all people should just be doing as basic human beings?
Dude, I just had the conversation with someone who he's actually a Christian, right? And you know me, I'm not a big fan.
Well, at
I
least
can
they're
have
not
some
Muslims
respect.
who ride the Aisha Express or the Aisha Express.
So they were like, by the way, I'm a Christian who's also a historian who like looks at things. And someone said, you should, during Black History Month, said you should look at white individuals. And I go, and they, like, I said, oh yeah, these aspects. And then they said, like, oh, these people were abolitionists. And I'm like, doing the minimal aspect does not mean that you should be like looked at as an icon. I'm so sorry. I don't believe that. Like me being against ICE is the minimalist. I should never be celebrated for having negative views against any of these subjects.
You shouldn't have to like. I mean, it is. I hate the bare minimalism as well because like, I mean, there's sometimes where like if with like ICE, it's like kind of can be sometimes systematic oppression, and it can be hard to work against these. But like, it's a virtuous thing to be doing, so you should be doing it in the first place.
Exactly. Like it is the bare minimum to oppose these things. It is the bare minimum to do work to oppose these things. It is not the above and beyond. Like, I'm so sorry that society has made you think that because you face risk to oppose moral injustices, that is like the thing that should be rewarded. The thing that should be rewarded is going and doing things like actually thinking about these and talking about arguments and why we should like progress, not on arguments of what should have already been standard.
You know, it's not virtuous being a bigot. Wow.
Fucking wild.
Like I don't understand why like this is like such a hot take though, like that we should be like offensive to bigots to some degree. Like we shouldn't be warming and welcoming like hi. When like people have like, I mean, I don't think that says like a lot of people, but there's like very clearly some groups of individuals who are bigoted and like just hate trans people for being trans people because they have no fucking reasoning. And yeah, like I feel like there should be more people who push back against this.
I honestly and
yeah,
what I push
don't tolerate the intolerant. Exactly.
What I push back against is I don't want to be centered in the conversation, and I also like people are like, "Oh, you're so amazing for just like saying basic things." Like this is the minimal odd. Like I'm not doing something amazing by just being supportive. That's not amazing. That is the thing we should all do. The bar is in fucking hell.
Yeah. It's kind of more reflective on our society and how shit it's become if this is like celebrated.
Me just
for me in this day and age it is amazing. Yeah, but like that's just more reflective about how fucked our society has become. Like that's the scary part. Is like if this is what's seen as amazing, it's just reflective of just how absolutely horrific our society's been. The craziest thing though is that like this is probably still the best time to be alive in a lot of ways. Like society has progressed so far morally, but it's still like we're talking about these things that like holy shit, this is the bare minimum. And it's the more you look at it, the more fucked you realize society is. And like how far we still have to go.
Well, as a cis individual, too, like, I get so fucking pissed at that people want me to convince them that this is the right thing to do. I'm like, I draw back. I'm like, at the point that I think that you are trying to, like, mine is just understand. Like, I honestly understand the people that are trying to understand, but, like, make it make sense to them and, like, make it draw these subcategories and do these things. I'm like, if you can't just, like, legitimately look at a person and understand what they're going through, you're just a shitty person. I'm sorry. Like, you were just a horrible person. And I stop and I draw back and I go, if that's what it takes for you to be empathetical, then you're just, you deserve to, like, go into your own society. You all make a society. I want to see your fucking outcomes. Yeah.
We'll just throw you on North Centralese Island because they probably have as much ethics as you do.
Yeah, go make your own fucking society, because it's probably gonna, like, it's gonna be really you're all gonna hate it, and then we'll step in one day and we'll be like, hey, there's another way to do this, and you'll be like, no, and we'll be like, okay, you're really committed to this idea, it kind of sucks for you, but we're, like, trying to show you a different way to view this thing, and you're like, but I need this, like, very like, black and white picture of how reality is. That's how I exist. I'm like, that feels problematic.
Yeah, it starts as for me, it's different when cis people fight for trans people than when trans people fight for themselves. Like, it shouldn't be, though. Like, we should all just be, like, if we're being logically consistent, we should all be fighting for the rights of everybody and, like, stand up for these rights. Like, this is just, like, a basic thing about logical consistency. If people have rights...
But they listen to us more, Stosky. Like, and I try not to center myself.
It is fucked up that they listen to us more. I guess it's because, like, they understand that, like, we don't have any skin in the game in that sense, if that makes sense.
Why, I have skin in the game. I care about people.
Well, but it's not like you have personal skin in terms of, like, this is, like, impacting your day-to-day life. If trans people have, or if trans women are women and the society accepts this, like, this doesn't really make your life any better in, like, a substantive way.
Realistically, I have the most skin in the game being a cisgender woman, because apparently trans individuals are attacking me at all times.
Oh yeah, you're just constantly being, like, raped in your bathrooms, clearly.
By trans women, yeah.
It's such a silly thing to say. It's just like, no.
Yeah, I fear men. I fear trans men the very least. Like,
I do want to come up with, like, a better argument of, like, why we should just not care about people's feelings, in the sense of, like, oh, I'm scared of trans individuals. Like, yeah, but that's not, like, their problem. That's, like, a you problem. Like, if you've never been around trans people and you're scared of them, that's not, like, necessarily wrong, but, like, this is something that's a you problem.
Well, so I have a problem with anyone mask presenting. I don't think that's a problem with me. I think that's a problem with the fact that, like, society represents that way, and the fact is that mask presenting people are the problem.
Oh yeah, we should definitely treat them that way, at least in terms of, like, for safety reasons.
At the same time, I ought not refer to a mask presenting person as a man. I can have qualms with that, without, like, I am absolutely allowed to say, like, hey, you've done X, Y, and Z and presented as such. I don't trust you the same way I would trust a presenting person. That can still exist within the definitions that we have.
If God
Right?
came down and said it was okay, then other than that, I won't agree. That's just like an unfalsifiable belief, because God doesn't exist.
God told me, by the way, James, that in fact, not only should you agree with this, but you should actually go fuck every trans person you meet.
Oh no, there's this one dude who came on one time who said, like, I'm doing my part in this because I'm fucking trans woman. And somebody posted the meme of, like, I'm doing my part, and I fucking lost it. It was so bad.
I just want to know where the fuck in the Bible, James, does it talk about trans people? Because I've read the book. It doesn't say anything about it.
According to biologic, or is it bibliologic, or which one is it?
It's cut off a little bit, but it's according to biological science, Jesus was trans.
Yeah, like, where did he get his Y chromosome from? It's either he's trans or he's a miracle.
I don't take this position because I take minimal historicity.
Okay, but
if you take the position that it was a miracle, absolutely fucking Jesus was a trans individual, because there's no way out of it.
Wait, I don't even know what your name is, gender non-compliant. What is, like, a name I can call you? Because you keep changing your...
Yeah, I've been going by Zatu on here, like the little bird.
Zatu? Okay, yeah. So
Yeah.
Zatu, like, runs the most fucking obscure prompts. It's fucking hilarious.
I know. I've been on their
We're
live.
gonna take your lawnmowers. And then...
I just can't take it seriously. Like I can't like I'll run the who is a woman debate against anyone who wants to have it, and I'll have the discussion about non-binary people, but they're gonna get confounded. Like I'm not gonna be giving them whatever script they think that they're gonna make me follow. Like it's not gonna happen.
Yeah, and then it's the trans woman are female.
Oh yeah, that one was actually the first argument that I learned on this app, because I was having a debate with Mama Corrupt about lawn mowing, and I said something like, "Well, yeah, I mean we're obviously male," and she started arguing with me. I'm like, "What the fuck?" I had never heard that argument that transgender women are literally female. I mean, once you hear the argument, like it's kind of coherent, but it's like the opponent has to like really be lacking in foundational understanding of biology, or has to have an above PhD like biology level to understand it. Like either way, it's like I don't know, but it is a fun debate.
That's why I like preface it like it's only technically part biology, but like the problem that I have in making that argument in biology is that we do differentiate between man and male, and that's like the major problem I think you would run into.
Yeah, like I actually take more of I would not say that I'm a gender critical by any stretch. I'm obviously not, but I do take more of a conservative biological standpoint where like I don't think that just because sex characteristics or secondary characteristics could be mutable under a cluster concept, that the overall definitional like cluster itself is going to change. But I mean that's just my subjective opinion. Like I've definitely heard the argument one the other direction.
But
I
here's
think that
here's the funny thing too, is that like you could actually probably push individuals to believe that you like we have the technology to do full sex changes today. Like you could push them that if they believe that an embryo is a person, that we could pull the chromosomes out, inject new chromosomes, and do a sex change that way. Like that is a full-on chromosomal sex change. That is in every sense everything that they could ever ask for.
Yeah, I've heard like about like bone marrow and stuff, like bone marrow transference, where like people will have like other people's like DNA and stuff like that, and like I don't know, like I don't think that's no one's using that as an excuse for why trans women are women. It's just interesting to like think about.
It is a silly argument. I think I might run it sometime just to fuck with them, like a GC that's like being disingenuous.
I just assume that any single person that prank phone calls my psychic non-binary hotline is calling in bad faith.
Psychic. It's such a silly thing. I love your lives because of it's just
Like,
fucking.
I
It is so fucking far out there that it's just what?
well, it's
And
funny
people
that like now that I have like a followership, like people will like occasionally will actually call and they'll really believe that I'm actually running a psychic hotline and not just trolling. I'm like, brother, like I'm over here just having fun.
It's fine when like the autistic people do like misunderstand because like we're not good at picking up social cues. Like it took me a few streams before I'm like, oh, you're not actually like fucking serious about some of this.
This one is another one that like fellow autists will understand. It says, I'm taking recreational estrogen as an experiment. I've been running this one, but like the joke is that like, they expect me to not know about HRT, but like I've been like a trans woman for 11 years on HRT. So the recreational part is total bogus, but it's just funny because it's actually it's actually a pro female to male transitioner social argumentation against the legality of testosterone is actually what I'm trying to chase here. So like the word recreational is like, well, why should I get to do it recreationally, but transgender men cannot? Like to me that seems like an inequity, and it seems like when people are like, oh yeah, what rights have you lost? What rights are you losing as trans people? It's like, well, me personally maybe nothing, but why aren't we looking at what trans men are suffering from? Like if they want to have access to equal hormones, how come they have to have theirs on a scheduling table? Like is that just because men are going to be more angry because they have more like testosterone? Like you can't do recreational testosterone. That's unlawful, and I think that's bogus. So I run this stupid prompt.
I mean, yeah. I want to bring up a separate issue that I find passionately. I just find that I just can't access drugs whenever I want, and that's problematic.
What kind?
I just all of them. The hormones, the non-hormones. I wish I could just like testosterone one day. When I'm feeling down, I just want to do the things. And that's how I feel.
I actually agree, and one of the prompts that I don't run, but I wish I was running, is abolish the DEA and abolish the Analog Act and abolish the Controlled Substance Act outright.
Yeah, that's the DEA, what is it?
FDA.
ATF. The ATF needs like, why are they regulating tobacco and alcohol as well? Why the fuck are they doing
Well,
this?
if they're not gonna regulate all substances and then like could do harm, like I deserve the access to these things too.
I think America's just we were really good for a while. I think there's like this cycle that governments go through where they can become progressive for a while, but then they'll just stay stagnant because they've done a bunch of progressive shit, and they don't want to like anymore. Like they can't push things too far before the public starts going and like bitching about things. So they'll do a bunch of progressive stuff, then they'll stagnate for a while. And then America is like in this area where they stagnated for a while, and we really have to like there's so much more.
You mean I can take as much aspirin as I want, and that's cool?
I'm gonna take as much Tylenol to make my kid autistic. I love that the backwards logic though is like it's actually when we look into things, it's more likely that the autism is causing people to take Tylenol, not the autism causing or the Tylenol causing autism.
Well,
it's like
wait,
they've got
isn't
the correlation
in vitro,
flipped.
though?
What?
Wasn't the alleged study that like if it's your parents that take it like in vitro?
Was it in vitro really?
Well, I mean, wait, just am I using that term right? Like,
Well,
like
if that's true, then stop having children in certain times of the month, because it'll maintain the fact that your children's gonna have your child is gonna have schizophrenia. Like, Like legitimately so. One of the first things that you learn in psychology are the in vitro aspects, and it is correlated that being born a certain time of the year means that you have a higher likelihood of having schizophrenia. Therefore, February babies are just fucked, like absolutely.
Okay, I looked it up. I was not using that term correctly. During the process of gestation, I think maybe is what I was looking for. Like the push, the rhetorical push that the right wing is pushing as a distraction is that the women who are taking Tylenol somehow caused like a genetic mutation, and that is ideologically rooted to autism, which is like no.
It's the same
but-
thing. Like
Have
when
you looked at
women
the
decide to fuck their partners, the fact is that like children born certain times of the year have a higher likelihood of being schizophrenic. It's the same thing.
Wait, is that what's?
No,
Wait,
like
is that a nonsense
legitimately.
claim?
No, it's not a nonsense claim.
Wait, what's is it
Depending
like
on
strongly correlated, or is it one of those things where it's like 5% more or something? Like, is it what's the math on that?
yeah, the Cohen's d is like non-existent.
Oh,
The same with
That'd be
Tylenol. What's the Cohen's d on this?
have you
Sorry,
ever
I'm
looked at the
ignorant.
MMR vaccine studies that like what is it? Dr. Fuckface did that like was like the basis for the Tylenol or the MMR vaccine causing autism claims?
Yeah, what? That's why I'm asking what the Cohen's d is.
Oh no.
'Cause, like,
This was even like worse science. This even have like like this was literally like hypotheses coming from a sample of 12
Oh.
people and what the parents thought could be a potential link for their kids
yeah,
being
like
diagnosed
there's
with autism.
definitely a bunch of stuff associated, but like they're not causal factors. That's why I'm asking you when they did this. Like, what was the like ratio? Like, Cohen's d is looking at like, how likely is it that it's like a causation? That's not really what's happening, but like, it's a value that says effect size. Like, how effective do we think that this number is?
What is the word you're asking for? Like is it similar to coefficient? Like, what's the word?
No, Cohen's d, CHO. When we make correlation,
Wait, what is the word?
Cohen
COH?
d. Yeah, it's Cohen d efficient.
Cohan. Did I write it in chat correct?
No. Hold
Uh,
on.
That's why I'm asking. It's like I've never heard this word. Shows how little of a scientific researcher I am.
Why was I so small? Because I don't want to distract from the beautiful stout. Like, let's be realistic here. This is what we all come from. Is this little guy right here?
Wait, is that real? Or do we evolve from them?
Clearly, we were all weasels. Always have been.
Like, this is just to measure effect size. Is what Cohen's d is.
Tara.
Okay, when I Google that, it comes up with like some random doctors.
Don't know what the fuck you've been Googling, but Cohen's d is it's a method to show effect size. So we like do certain things like power analyses and Cohen's d to look at, is it like significant? And I'm eating ice cream, so sorry.
Cohen's d.
Yeah. You probably understand Cohen's d without understanding Cohen's d.
No. You spelt it right.
Oh yeah,
Wrong.
yeah. I found it after
Cohen's
just
d.
Googling a couple of ancillary words.
Yeah, I just threw statistics in there.
Oh, did I spell it wrong? I'm sorry.
It's not Chohan D. It's Cohen D. Cohen's D. It's his D.
Yeah, I'm
No.
sorry. I spelled it wrong.
Oh, Ashland. What am I gonna do with you? No. Oh, but I was I found a whole bit of. I have to actually look into this. There's actually like a whole. I should really get into this philosophy, because this would be like the most bullshit philosophy that I could just drag GCs through and they would just have to suffer. And it is where is it at? No, it's not that. Not that. It's
Okay, don't judge me on how I spell shit. I understand shit. It wasn't letting me unmute. But yeah, these are important like attributes and statistics. And yeah, I don't always understand philosophy. And I don't always understand like probability and things like that. But like, god damn it, at least I understand the basics.
Yeah, so it's called it's there's a framework called revision theory of truth. And basically what we can do is that we can basically use like we can basically do some tests about like a what would I say, like a like you can basically test circular or self-referential concepts and basically be able to come to a conclusion of if they will arrive at stable or meaningful results, using like Finch notation, which is like a way of like, it's like a mathematical notation in a sense. And
Cavalario is not gonna like this.
Yeah, this is gonna just fucking like absolutely cook the brains of anybody who's in philosophy, even. Because this is just like so deep down the philosophical rabbit hole that like you would actually have to be in, like, even my friend Klesi, who occasionally shows up, he was just like, I've never heard of this. It's like, yeah, they're fucked. This dude's like he's actually like studying philosophy and he doesn't know what this is. And this is like specifically what we would want to do. Yeah, exactly, Trans Alpine. Philbro the Philbros. Just fuck with them. And they're fucked.
That's what Hopeless Gamer was talking to me about, because he hangs out with a bunch of creeps. He's definitely a gender critical, but he at least keeps decorum when he's on the panels. So he was talking to me about the meta-analysis of how this app in particular has changed the discussion archetypes of the debate, and how the philosophy bros, who actually are agnostic to they don't give a fuck whether trans women or women. They just want to debate. They just need new topics to debate. So all
Fair
these
enough.
like 16 to 25-year-old Phil bros are just flooding the app now that the filters are off. And it's actually changing the way that both the GCs and the TRAs are forced to engage with the entire meta.
Just have to fucking everybody becomes a philosopher now. I already do this with the conspiracy theories. Oh my god, we hit our follower goal. Yippee, we're at 700. Only 300 more till I can get off this godforsaken app. And use OBS instead. Yeah, I already do this with conspiracy theories, because whenever people start talking about conspiracy theories, I start talking about Stone Martins and them taking down the particle accelerator at CERN, and like that there's got to be some big fucking conspiracy about weasels, and how the raccoons invaded Fermilab, and Felicia the Ferret was also in the particle accelerator at Fermilab. Like this is a topic I have way too much information on, but it's like just enough to like be able to draw a conspiracy theory on, and it just boggles the fucking minds. It is just going deeper down the rabbit hole than anybody would ever go, that they just will not engage in this conspiracy talk.
Weasels don't want us to know things. I agree.
Yeah, that's basically what the conspiracy theory is that weasels know things that we don't, and they're trying to tell us things, and it's so ludicrous.
Weasels know things, guys.
and you just gotta like full-heartedly say it with your chest, and I can do that, and like be excited about it, because like that's how you gotta share conspiracy theories. Like this is new information, guys.
My problem is people take me way too seriously. I'm not that fucking serious, guys.
I do like the idea though of like whenever somebody starts doing like conspiracy theories though, you just go deeper down a rabbit hole they'll never go down with you, because they'll just think you're fucking crazy, and it gets them to shut up about this stuff. So if we can out Philbro the Philbros, I'm sure that this will happen too.
Listen, I have a justifiable, reasonable evidence that my curtains are men. Just start doing shit like that to them. They never, honestly, ever want to engage in stuff. My like major problem is that they want to intellectualize and engage with stuff on their own terms and never consider empathy in how they engage with anything. Like that's honestly like my biggest problem, is they've never like looked at anyone besides themselves. They're going, these are my definitions and this is what I'm gonna do, and it's like
this is the definition. That is what they always say too.
Yeah.
It's like no. You guys are blundering like that understanding of what a definition is. And I need to get better at being able to like smack people in the head over with like, this is a stupid thing. This is not how definitions work. You're dumb.
Yeah.
But say that in like a way that like actually gets through to them, and that's something I'm working on.
No, I just don't. I hate to say it. I don't like people who don't have empathy. I just don't like them.
Don't give them empathy then.
Yeah, and I don't.
Sure, we'll let
and
you
I think that like most people who engage with them, I can't imagine that the relationships are good.
Hi, can I get your
Hi.
age?
Yeah, 48.
Do you disagree? Or do you agree?
Yeah,
What would be your reason?
I agree. But why do you need empathy on something that's already facts? I don't get it.
Well, I empathize with you being an idiot, but I don't say it out loud.
I mean, you can do
Oh
all
wait,
the
I did
insults you
that.
want.
Shit. Oh my god.
Oops.
See. Oh god. God fucking damn it. I did it again.
Yeah, well,
Well, yeah, that didn't feel good, right?
what half of 1% is not going to change the world.
Well, that's
And
like
you
a
guys
really.
can keep
Wait, hold
trying
on.
to be
That's not
validated.
true.
Every day you're
hold
on here
This
trying
is
to
like a
validate
really.
something. You're
This
trying to
is like a
validate
nihilistic
something
point of
every
view.
day.
This is a
Let
really
me wake
nihilistic
up and
point of view.
let's try to validate my life.
Yeah,
Let's try to
so
validate trans rights and
yeah,
trans people.
this is like a
So,
virtuous
And
like,
thing
I'm
to
a
do.
like
woman.
how many people actually appealed to the abolitionist position when it first started? It was very minimal, and then it took the convincing of how black
Word
individuals have.
salad. Yeah, okay. Yeah,
That's not a
yeah.
word salad. I
It's
don't know.
word salad. Okay, you're smart. Yeah, yada, yada. But men can't be female or woman.
I agree that
Thank you.
men can't be women.
We agree.
I don't agree that men can't be female. I also agree that you can't be smart. Do you agree with me on that?
Oh, little keyboard.
No.
When's the last time you
So-
left your little house? When's the
Me?
last time you left your house?
I left the house earlier today.
So
You already stressed out. You lost your hair.
I what? Oh no, I shaved my
You
hair.
lost your hair.
So
No, I just shaved my
physical
hair.
attributes. Hold on.
Yeah.
Physical attributes maintain a value. So your small penis makes a lot of difference about who you are.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I would agree that you're lesser of a man because you have a small penis. Now that we can establish that, we can talk about trans individuals.
Mm.
No woman wanting to touch you, whether they're trans or not, actually does make a difference in this conversation.
You're so smart.
Yeah, unlike you, I would also be mad and jealous of people who have
We need
deeply thought about it
empathy.
and
We
put
need
forth the effort.
empathy, and
I'm
we
just
need to
gonna,
use the
yeah,
word
we do.
intersex. We need to use the word intersex, and we need
Have you been
empathy to
karyotyped?
make
Have you been
to make our
karyotyped?
point.
You don't even know if you're not
Yeah,
intersex. You've
you
never
could be
been karyotyped.
XXY.
No one. I didn't say I was. What part don't you understand?
Yeah, but what is
Okay.
I don't think we've talked about intersex people once in the last 3.5 hours.
We haven't.
No, you probably would though.
So, like, other people where I grant conversations and give them leeway and talk to them in an empathetic way, I think that the only value that you'll have in this conversation, if I treat you like shit, because I honestly think that you might draw value from this, and I might be wrong, and that's okay, but I think you're a shitty person, and you should be made fun of because of that.
Oh no, that's fine. I mean, if that's what makes you feel good, I'm just
It's
happy
not about
that
what's
I'm
making
just
you feel
happy that
good.
men
Did I say
men
that?
are never going to be allowed to go into women
By the way,
shelters
I have
and the
recently
bathroom. They will always
escorted.
suffer.
I've recently
Just have
escorted.
them
I have
suffer.
recently escorted
I'm
a
so
woman who
sorry.
has male
Crash up,
anatomy
crash up.
into. Yeah, I don't give a shit what you're saying. To
Doesn't really matter.
yeah. No, you're right, Art.
Bunch of word salad.
I don't think you know what word salad is.
Yeah, but wait, hold on. Word salad is like a you problem,
It's
not
what
a us
comes out of
problem.
your mouth.
Yeah, like I could talk about philosophy.
That's why
and like
Cav cooked all of you. That shit was so funny. Cav got
That's what Cav
under your
left,
skin.
right?
Cav got under your skin so much, Ash. That
Yeah,
shit was
yeah.
fucking hilarious.
That's
I
what
mean,
happened.
That
Hold on,
shit
hold on,
was
hold on.
hilarious.
Mecca,
That
Mecca.
was hilarious.
Explain the argument that Cav had then.
That was
No.
hilarious.
Explain the argument.
Hilarious.
How did Cav win?
Hilarious.
Tell us how
Was
Cav
fucking
won.
hilarious.
How did
And then
fucking
you
Cav
even
win?
said,
Shut the fuck up.
I'm done.
Tell us how Cav won.
And then you still kept,
Tell us how Cav won.
and you kept going.
Tell us how Cav won. 'Cause I didn't mute Cav once. And I'm muting you, so tell us how Cav won. No one
This
on the
shit's
panel
hilarious.
muted Cav.
That shit's hilarious. No, I didn't say nothing about mute.
I am asking you
I
how
didn't
did
say
Cav
nothing
win.
about muting. I didn't.
How did Cav
cooked
win?
ya.
How did Cav win? Tell me. How
He
did Cav
cooked you.
win? How? You know what? When I'm asking how to cook eggs. I'm gonna ask for the specifics. And I could tell you how to cook an egg. But you're not telling me how Cav cooked me, so I'm asking you for those details. What argument did Cav win? Because I know you.
I'll answer you.
No, I just want the answer.
Oh, you don't want an answer?
No, I do. Tell me.
Oh, okay. Did you tell him you were done talking to him? Yes or no? At
So
one point.
when I'm done cooking an egg.
When you were done talking to him, did you say
Yeah.
that? I'm
Yeah, I
done
did.
talking to you,
What?
and you kept going. That shit was hilarious.
That's a cook.
He got under your
Definitely.
fucking skin.
When I'm done cooking the egg,
He
and I'm
got
like,
under your
suppose the egg
skin.
could go a little longer.
You know what I'm saying?
And I'm like, that's definitely. Are you like psychologically okay?
Shit's hilarious.
Sir, have you been under the influence of alcohol recently?
Sir, have you gotten any pussy lately?
No, I haven't.
Hey,
Can you answer the damn
we
question?
all know. We all know that answer, okay? We all know that answer.
I don't care.
Stosky,
We
you
all know
could
that answer.
above Mecca. Absolutely, I would fuck you. Above Mecca.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, I'm the pussy of speaking, by the way.
I'm pretty sure you're stinks. You stay on the computer all day. You probably hardly shower. Every 3 days, Ash.
That's so
Nasty.
real.
That's
No, I
nasty.
took a shower this morning.
Definitely, I don't
You
get
have stank
harassed
pussy.
every day for
You
the
have
fact
stank
that I'm an
pussy.
attractive woman. That never happens.
Stank pussy.
Yeah, I know attractive women don't talk to you.
Mecca's
You don't
talking
even
from.
leave your home.
Wait, are you talking
You
from
don't
experience,
leave your
Mecca?
home, Ash.
Mecca, are you talking from experience about like not showering? Because this sounds like a you problem, not a me problem.
Oh, okay, Baldy.
Okay, Baldy. Yeah. I'll just strike God.
Stressed out
I'll
all
call
your
down
hair.
the wrath of God on you, and you
Stressed
shall be
out
marred
all
like the
your
children.
hair. I'm pretty sure your dad has a whole head of hair.
No, I
Or
just
your
yeah,
brothers.
he does. Like if you
I'm
can
pretty
see,
sure.
like these, I have
Stressed
hairstyle.
out.
I
Stressy.
just shaved my head because it's
Stressed
easier.
out. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, like I literally
Mecca,
was in the
Sure.
shower shaving my head this morning.
Telling people how small your dick is like, it's not appropriate.
Okay, pastrami lips.
Pastrami lips. Oh fuck.
You could tell she's got like 3-inch minoras.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
For how hard you're riding Cav's dick, like is this dick big?
Hey,
Say it, Junior.
Mecca, you're just grateful women talk to you sometimes. If they do that.
Yeah, how about we
Yeah,
actually have a
okay.
debate, or are you just here to yap?
Oh, are you running? Oh.
No, I'm asking if you want to have a debate.
Are you
or if
running?
No,
You don't even know what a woman is.
Yeah, it's a cisgender adult human female or a transgender adult human male. What is a woman? What is your definition?
No. Where is that? Where is that? Where is that? What you said? Where is that?
Where is it? I came up with the definition myself. That's how definitions can be work.
Yeah, I mean, how?
Stosky, this individual has a kink with being insulted.
Why
Oh,
is
you have a
adult human
defamation kink?
female number one? Why is adult human female number one in every fucking definition?
It isn't.
Yeah, it's not always, but
No?
also like, if you want to just appeal
Really?
to the dictionary definition, do you think that the
Find me one.
dictionaries? Hold on, do you think the
No,
dictionary?
wait. When it comes to the word cis, you go say.
I was just gonna say,
When it comes to all the other words, you have.
let's just go to dictionary.com. Let's see woman.
Pastrami lips.
Oh well, man. You can let him. You can let him whap.
Come on, pastrami. Take it easy, pastrami.
Oh, actually, why don't I just use What am I doing? This is a silly thing that I'm doing. Why am I not just using Stanford's medical dictionary?
I just want to firmly state that this motherfucker. I've made a life, and you can't even make a sandwich.
Someone's agitated.
I'm so angry. I'm so angry.
So angry.
Pastrami.
Yeah, it's the roast beef sandwich that you sold before.
No, I like it. It looks more like pastrami.
Oh, you like children. I got it.
What the fuck?
Oh, no, you like children. You don't like women who are women. You want...
Who the fuck said anything about children?
Wait, hold on.
You don't want women to be women.
What?
You don't want women to have aspects of living life and having children.
What the fuck are you talking about?
What you're saying is...
Are you projecting or what are you doing?
I'm not projecting. I'm talking about your standard. Your standard. Your fucking standard on what
now
women
you're
should look
reaching.
like. No, I'm not.
Pastrami lips don't like it.
Yeah, your standard is that of children and
Pastrami
what
lips
vaginas
don't
should look
like
like.
it.
Your standard of what women should look like are
Pastrami in the
children.
house.
Pedophile. Fucking pedophile.
Pastrami.
You want children to represent vaginas.
Hey, Astrid,
Pastrami lips.
I brought you up, by the way, if you want to have fun.
Mecca, you want vaginas to look like children's vaginas.
You're projecting, and that's
I'm not,
gross.
because why are you bringing up the fact that I might have a vagina
Pastrami lips.
that
You have
looks
pastrami lips.
pedophile? Fucking pedophile.
God, I can
Pastrami
smell the unwashed balls through the screen.
Like, why are you saying that my vagina might not be perfect if you're not holding the standard to a child's
Pastrami
vagina?
lips.
More
Okay.
pussy than you'll ever get, you fucking
Pastrami
freak.
lips.
Yeah, no, I just think that you watch
I'm
child
so
porn.
sorry. I must
You
have
watch
got it
child
right.
porn and you
I'm
think
so
the
sorry I
standard.
got it right.
You think the
I'm
standard
so
is
sorry I got it right.
No. Yeah, I'm sorry I got mine right too. That you like
I'm
children.
so sorry you got it. I got it right on you.
I guarantee you that the type of porn that you watch is that of children. If you think that vaginas aren't different,
Wow, you are so projecting right now.
I'm
It's
not.
gross.
I'm not.
That is so gross.
I'm not
dude.
projecting. All
That
I'm
is
talking
so
about
gross.
is it? Is it my
That is
vagina gross to
gross.
you?
Griff,
That
what
is
the
so
hell?
might wanna
gross
try
that you
men
watch
then.
that.
Are you
That
are you
is
into
so
men?
gross.
Hey, wait, hold on, Mecca. Do you think that individuals are either born men or women?
Excuse me?
Do you think that somebody's born either a man or a woman?
Come on, dude.
No, I'm just answering the question.
What are you? Listen to what you just asked.
Yeah. I'm asking you. Do you think that's?
Listen to what you just asked.
Yeah. Do you think that individuals are born either a man or a woman?
Listen to what you just asked.
Okay.
That's all I got to say about that.
I can listen to it.
That
Are you
is
into
so
men?
gross.
Hey, wait, hold on, Mecca. Do you think that individuals are either born men or women? Okay, I listen to it. What do you want?
Where's pastrami lips at?
I can't. I'm done. I'm done.
I'm at you answering the fucking question. You fucking child porn lover.
Do you think he has a crush on you? Is that him trying to flirt? Ew.
Oh fuck! That was so silly.
Like, I'm so sorry that people with vaginas, when they're not 15 years old, develop different types of hymens and different type of labia formations. Like, he just described, like, legitimately, I was being serious, that if you like labias and hymens that are intact and look this way, you are a predator.
It took him so much of a second just to realize that I like literally listened to what I just said, and like he couldn't comprehend it. His script broke. His like one track of listen to what you said. I was just gonna ask him.
Well, I'm not even kidding. I'm not even kidding.
Do you know what the follow-up question was?
What?
Do you think that women can consent? Because like they're gonna say, yeah, they're born man or woman. Do you think men and women can consent? And they're gonna be like, yeah. It's like, oh, so you think that babies can consent?
I guarantee you, the triple X websites they go on,
They
was
watch-
that of yeah.
They 200%
questionable
watch,
stuff.
and they also watch trans porn, 100%. Anyways, I think that's a good point to end the stream on, honestly.
Yeah.
Did you hear me talking about Transalpine Gaul and Cisalpine Gaul, Astrid?
I didn't. That's funny.
Oh, yeah, I was saying, like, if trans doesn't mean not, then, like, it clearly, within the, like, the notion of saying Transalpine Gaul and Cisalpine Gaul, like, trans doesn't mean not in that situation, so, like, how on earth could a transgender woman not be a woman? Like, trans doesn't
Yeah.
mean not, unless you're gonna say that gender means not. Like, ding, ding, ding.
I'm doing a presentation on fascism and like anti-empathetic rhetoric, and I think that was kind of relevant to that.
Sorry, Griff, that I'm ending it right as you get in. I feel bad. No. That was a wild stream.
Yeah, sounded like it. Hi, Ashland. Sorry.
Hi, Astrid.
Nice,
Oh, I thought you
nice
said.
to talk to you.
I thought you said hi, Ashland. I'm like, wait, you're Ashland. You said hi, Astrid. My mind's going. That man stole some of my IQ. He stole my neurons. Okay, bye everyone.
Bye.
Thanks for coming.